News, always Adelaide.
A shower or two developing in 25 today with the 6 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Chipped windscreen. RAA approved repairer Complete Windscreens repairs it from just $99. Find the big red koala.
A former Brisbane player has been hit with a doping ban. Jordan Tunbridge reports.
Reece Matheson has been suspended from all levels of football for 3 years. The 28-year-old found to have breached the Australian Football Anti-Doping Code. It's alleged he tested positive to a banned performance-enhancing substance last year. He had been playing for the Wilston Grange Gorillas in the Queensland State League at the time. An imposing midfielder throughout his AFL career, Matheson played 72 games for the Lions from 2016 to 2023.
There have been 2 car fires overnight. One was reported on Seacombe Road at Two Wells just after 11 p.m. and there was another at Enmore Drive in Craigmore. The alarm was raised shortly before 5 a.m. Hurricane Melissa is continuing to make her presence felt in the Caribbean, making landfall in Cuba. It arrived as a Category 3. It's now headed toward the Bahamas. Melissa has wiped out hospitals, housing and major infrastructure across Jamaica. It made landfall there as a Category 5. Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness says it's hard to comprehend the full extent of the damage.
It would only be after the passage of the hurricane and it is safe to conduct proper damage assessment that we will see the full picture. But the picture right now suggests that damage within the corridor of impact is significant.
A development today in the Louvre heist. 2 suspects arrested in connection with the museum robbery have admitted involvement and been remanded in custody. The 7-minute raid on October 19 netted the group 8 pieces of jewellery regarded as France's crown jewels. Investigators are hopeful the jewellery will be found and returned to the Louvre. One government agency is costing the country big dollars when it comes to temporary staff. More from Gabrielle Hodson.
Australia's E-Safety Commission is being accused of a spending spree on temporary staff. News Corp says the online watchdog hired an executive assistant for 11 months at a cost of $248,000. In another case, $989,000 was spent on a senior data business expert. The AusTender website shows that more than $41 million has been spent on temporary staff over the last decade. The Commission has justified the enormous cost, saying it's been forced to keep up with growing responsibilities.
Listening to music in older age can lower the risk of dementia by almost 40%. Monash University researchers analysed more than 10,000 older Australians' music habits and long-term health outcomes. They found people aged over 70 who listen to music were 39% less likely to be later diagnosed with dementia. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
And it's good morning to Tom Wren.
And a very good morning to you as well, Mel. Good signs for Australia's summer ahead, with Captain Pat Cummins returning to some light bowling in the nets yesterday. Now, it is hoped he could play in the second Ashes test in Brisbane. Last night, the Aussie T20 side against India, that match was washed out in Canberra, with the visitors 1 for 97 in the 10th over when play was stopped due to the rain. Meantime, South Australia's right back in a chill clash against WA thanks to a brilliant bowling effort from Brendan Doggett. He took 6 wickets to help dismiss the home side for 307. SA none for 6 at stumps in its second innings, still trailing overall by 86 runs. And South Africa beat England last night in the Women's One-Day World Cup. They'll play in the final against the winner of tonight's match between Australia and India. Well, Australia has retained the Constellation Cup against New Zealand in bittersweet circumstances. The Aussies lost the game, meaning the match went to extra time with the series tied at 2-2. It was 11-all in the extra period before the visitors went ahead in the dying seconds in Christchurch. Audio there thanks to Fox, but in the very last second of the match, literally the last second, Aussie defender Sunday Ariang put her body on the line, won a penalty but suffered what appeared to be a very serious injury, with her and her teammates in tears post-match. And that is the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast, a shower or two developing 25 for your Thursday, a possible early storm tomorrow 23, Saturday sunny 28, Sunday a shower or two 25. Right now it's 12 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
I am loud, man. If you don't hurry up, I swear to God.
Sir, I'm going as fast as I can.
You're not even trying. Healthcare, you don't care at all.
Sir.
You've seen everyone else before me. I'm sick of it. What about me, huh?
Sir, please don't touch me.
Then do your goddamn job!
Abusive and violent behaviour against healthcare workers is on the rise.
Back off, don't touch
But abuse shouldn't be part of the job. Look after those who look after us. A message from the Government of South Australia.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide tech guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
If you've been thinking it might be time to replace that tired old laptop or finally get the kids one of their own, Harvey Norman's tech run-out clearance is well worth a look. There's the Acer Aspire Lite 15 with a 15.6-inch Full HD screen, reliable Intel Celeron processor with a 128GB SSD, and right now it's on sale for just $348. You'll save $120. If you want something a bit smarter, the Acer Aspire GoSpin 14 is a 2-in-1 computer. It switches between laptop, tablet or tent mode for sharing photos or watching together. This powerful Windows 11 computer with touchscreen is now only $748 from Harvey Norman.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
Good morning. First time caller, long time listener.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
Live from Hindmarsh Square, it's 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
7 after 6, good morning to you and welcome to Thursday on 5AA Breakfast. It is the 30th of October. We're going to spend a little bit of the first half hour of the program this morning in the US. We'll get the latest on Hurricane Melissa. We crossed to Jamaica yesterday. What was the fallout? We'll find out very, very shortly. After 6:30 today, has the Christmas Grinch come early? Are the 9th Avenue Christmas lights under threat? The Liberal candidate for Dunstan, Anna Finizio, is going to join us. She's been door-knocking in the area, and there's a great deal of concern about what's going to happen once the council finish meddling in the famous 9th Avenue Christmas lights. So we'll get into that story over the course of the morning as well. Shocking inflation data yesterday. There will be no rate cut on Melbourne Cup Day. Will we see another one anytime in the near future, or are we officially at the point now where the next move is likely to be up? We're going to get into that with Sally Tyndall from CanStar Blue after 7 o'clock today. Matt Abraham's going to be on the show as well. It's going to be a big morning on 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, listeners. Yeah, I don't even want to think about the interest rate situation. That was really depressing for everyone.
Disaster.
Trying to pay off their damn mortgage. 5 minutes of economic sunshine. Thanks to Jim Chalmers, to borrow a line from the great man, JWH. That was his sledge on Keating ahead of the 96 election. Oh, poor old Terry's probably lying in bed going, that's a new record. Yes. It's only 7 minutes past 6 and we've had a John Howard reference. But, we'll get into that later on.
You know what the most depressing component of that whole thing is yesterday? The biggest factor in the increase to annual inflation. Electricity up 23.6%. Now, I want to cast your mind back 12 months. Were we frolicking about in a low electricity price environment?
No.
Were we all delighted?
No.
Were we all saying, gee, this cheap power can't last forever? Like 12 months ago, in the lead up to the federal election, it was one of the biggest issues in the country based on how expensive it was. 23.6%. Up.
What about insurance? Insurance is up 20%.
Insurance is up. Yep. Insurance is a big factor.
Most people pay for their power, and most people have insurance policies on their home and their car.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these are things you can't avoid. Maybe the Libs could spend less time worrying about Albo's T-shirts and start just getting back to their knitting. Economic management, cost of living. Like, that's meant to be their one wood. They're tearing themselves apart over net zero. Like, it looks like the government's got no opposition.
Well, I guess,
and he's not going to have any opposition for as long as Susan Lee's there, and they're all so distracted.
Terry in Henley Beach, by the way, just texted on the police MG text line.
Yeah. Thank you, Terry.
What if it might...
We're being rude about the Liberals now, though.
It might fire up a few about the whole net zero thing, because if power prices are the greatest contributor to inflation at the moment, and they've gone up at this rate,
well,
it might lend ballast to an argument about being able to pursue a radically different energy policy.
Drill, baby, drill. Something along those lines.
Something along those lines.
Well, particularly given the amazing story in The Australian 2 days ago on the front page about where they under FOI, they got all of the internal advice to Chris Bowen, the energy minister, straight after the election saying, listen, if you keep pushing ahead with these emissions targets, the cost of power is going to go up heaps. That's what the advice to him was. And he's like, okay. So
here we are.
What's happened on that front?
Here we are. Hey, one of our own under siege on social media last night. Are you aware of this?
You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful.
We ran an entire competition around the idea that James Blunt is savage. He takes no prisoners on social media. Well, now, among the number of James Blunt takedowns, we can count our own newsreader extraordinaire, Mel Usher.
No way.
Mel tweeted the other night, following the James Blunt concert here, so sad I missed the James Blunt concert last night. Not. Which drew the ire of the man himself in James Blunt, who quote tweeted and said, nobody noticed.
You're joking. I had no idea that this happened.
Yeah, that's right. This is difficult for us because we've been talking up James's Twitter game, and Mel's part of the team. So, you know.
Oh, no, that's a badge of honour, isn't it?
I think so.
I think Mel would be going, how good is this? I've actually been bagged on Twitter by James Blunt.
So we want to ask you this morning, 8223 what are the bands or musicians, and you're going to have so much fun with this, David, I can tell instantly, that you just don't get. You just don't get. They're popular, but you've never been able to work out why. 8223 who would you throw to the mix?
I'm going to say something that should have me deported.
Do it.
John Farnham.
The Voice. So hang on.
What's going on there?
You don't like anything from Sadie the cleaning lady right through until You're the Voice?
Correct. I just don't get it. I do not get it.
Hey, you don't have to explain it. It's art.
I think he seems like the world's nicest guy.
Great story.
But I just don't understand it.
Two hearts?
Oh.
8223 Police Home Care text line. The musicians or bands you just don't get. You accept that they're popular, but it's just never resonated with you. Give us a call and nominate them. I'll be interested to see what the most popular band that comes up is. 8223 Police Home Care text line. We're going to get some news headlines in a moment.
You could win a trip for 4 to the Gold Coast, all thanks to Barnacle Bill and Spark Travel. Major prize includes flights, accommodation and theme park entry. Plus, weekly draw to win a Barnacle Bill treasure chest. It's Barnacle Bill for seafood and much, much more.
Not every conversation stays with you. This one will. Join Stephen Bartlett as he asks the questions no one else asks. Search The Diary of a CEO wherever you get your podcasts.
They say one of life's biggest decisions is buying a home. But sometimes the hardest one is leaving it. At Anglicare SA, we're here to help you stay where you belong, at home. We offer support for everyday things like cleaning, gardening, cooking, but are also experts in care management, allied health, and clinical nursing. Because we believe there's no place like home. Let us help you stay where your heart is. Find out more at Anglicare SA. You are at home.
Generic brand cleaning services. Press 1 if you'd like to stay on hold for another 30 minutes. Or if you'd like to scream into the handset, press 2.
At Servicing SA, Cleaning and Facility Solutions, you speak to real South Aussies about cleaning your retail, commercial or community property. The interstaters might promise the world, but will they show up when the bins overflow on Friday? Affordable, reliable and 100% local. That's Servicing SA. Go to servicingsa.com.au.
So, what are you up to this summer?
I'm going on a little Euro trip.
Exciting. Got your passport?
Nope.
Bags packed?
Nah.
Flights booked?
Don't need any.
Get a taste of Europe this summer right here in Adelaide at the Polart Festival from December 27 to January 5. Adelaide comes alive with Polish music, dance, theatre, food and more. Tickets now on sale for Southern Skies Polish Rhythms. Tuesday, December 30. Visit pol.art.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
16 minutes after 6. Bit of a traffic issue that it's playing out in our roads at the moment. Getting some texts about it. Matt and Mount Barker's called in. Matt, what have you seen?
G'day, mate. Yeah, someone set a stovey pole down there. It's just bent right across the road. It's going to be huge traffic delays there today, mate.
So is that the one on Grand Junction Road?
Yeah, in between Prospect and Churchill.
So someone's hit a stovey pole, and what is it? Is it literally on the ground, is it?
It's a lot bent right across the road.
Oh, no. Busy part of the road, too.
Crikey. And no one's working no one's working on it at the moment?
I'm not down there at the moment, but it happened about 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, no good.
Well, Matt, that's great advice, mate. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. Let us know if you do see anything in your movements. 822 300 is in the meantime. We are collating artists, musicians, bands that you just don't get. You accept they're popular, but it's never quite worked for you. Quentin in Old Ranella's on the line. Morning, Quentin.
Yeah, g'day, fellas. How you going?
Good, thanks, Quentin. We're good, mate.
Bruce Buddy Springsteen, he can't sing. I can't understand it. I don't get it. The guy can't sing. He can play guitar and can be up there for 6 hours, but he can't sing.
The boss,
You
Quentin.
should see the look on Will's face.
Get it.
Unbelievable, Quentin. I thought we were friends. 822 300. Lots of police home care texts coming through on this front. 0448 08 1395.
Quentin's not alone in that view. Russell's had a crack at Springsteen as well, and also U2. One here. I was waiting for this
me
one.
or U2?
No, the band.
Okay.
U2. Yeah. I was waiting for this one to just open the proceedings, open the batting with a nice quick single. Someone's just said Coldplay. Correct.
Did you text that in?
No, somebody else did. Un-Australian. Somebody's had to crack it. Somebody's mentioned Barnsey. Surely not. Quite a few Taylor Swifts. Daniel in Glen says, most boring artist of all time. Tim says AC/DC. I never got it. I think that they're overrated. Another one about Barnsey saying that they liked him in Chisel but not on his own. This is harsh. I can't even bring myself to read them out. David's had a shot back at me on behalf of John Farnham saying it's Farnham's vocal range and power. He easily belts an octave higher than most singers without using a falsetto. And Chris in North Adelaide says, I must be the only person on the planet who can't stand Queen. Bohemian Rhapsody is such a boring dirge. That ain't rock and roll. And Mike from Taringi says he can't stand ELO.
Come on, Mike.
He said that combination of pop rock and classical music has driven me mad since I was a teenager. And some of my friends are massive fans.
Let's go to Woodcroft. Angela, the artist you don't get.
Adele.
Oh, Adele.
Really? Adele,
She's got a great
really
voice,
don't
though.
get her. If she comes on the radio, I turn over. I just can't handle her voice.
Well, I should probably say to you, Angela, never mind, I'll find someone like you.
Oh, I'm sure.
Good on you, Angela.
Hang on, I shouldn't have played, should I?
Angela's still on the
Because
line.
Angela literally just said, if I hear it, I turn off.
Yeah, we just lost a listener, Will.
Well, that was a
Now
mistake.
you've done it.
Oh, Paddy kept telling me to play the music.
Off to Mix to listen to the breakfast show. Hang on.
Well, there is there's no mix nor breakfast show at the moment. Vinny and Grange, good morning.
Bob Dylan for funerals.
Bob Dylan.
Hang on, you think Bob Dylan is for funerals? Or you don't understand it when you do hear Bob Dylan at a funeral?
It sounds like his cat's died and he's singing about it.
Vinny,
he might have.
You sound like my wife. Happy Valley, good morning.
How are you, mate? Queen, I just don't get it. I just don't get it at all. Even a little bit of Kiss, I don't understand that either. Elton John, he's got the Rocket Man. Other than that, not sure.
Good on you, Kyle. You have a whole suite of them there, starting with Queen.
in that one. But geez, I reckon some of their other songs are terrific. I mean, you can't denounce them for being silly, because I'd say Fat Bottom Girls is just
there's a lot of silliness to what they do, isn't there?
Stupid, but also a brilliant song. What about Bicycle Race?
Bohemian Rhapsody is silly.
Yeah, it is pretty. It's quite strange, isn't it?
Let's head to the United States. Miley Hogan for 7 News, covering the fallout from Hurricane Melissa. Miley, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So what have we learnt? When we were on air yesterday, I think the eye of the storm was over the western part of Jamaica. It's obviously moved on since then, but what has it left behind?
Well, look, at this stage, Hurricane Melissa is barreling toward the Bahamas. It has been downgraded now to a Category 2, but it's still packing winds of up to 160 kilometres an hour and carrying heavy rain. It swept across Cuba earlier this morning, but as you mentioned, Jamaica is really the island nation that has copped the brunt of Hurricane Melissa. It roared ashore there as a Category 5, and this morning the job for search and rescue crews, for residents of that area, has been assessing the damage, and that's been pretty difficult for them because of the widespread infrastructure damage to buildings, to roads. It's making it difficult for them to get into some of the hardest hit areas of that island, and more than 70% of the country is now without power, and also communication is difficult, mobile phones, internet, so they have a really big job ahead of them.
Yeah, no, it's going to take a long time to find out the full extent of it. We spoke yesterday on the show, Miley, to one of the Indonesian government, beg your pardon, one of the Jamaican government ministers, and he said they still had no real idea, particularly on the western side of the island, exactly what was going on.
Yeah, the western side of the island is the area that has been hardest hit, and search and rescue crews are making their way into there now. They haven't even given an official number of how many fatalities there have been. At this stage, there are reports that 3 bodies had been recovered from the western side of Jamaica. They have said they do expect there to be loss of life, but they don't want to release an official figure until they know and can actually get in there. So hopefully it won't be high, and that the preparation that went into this, they knew that it was coming. Hopefully that's paid off, because there were a lot of evacuations. People were getting to those shelters. So we'll have to wait and see until officials can get in there. But at this stage, it's only reports of figures. No official number has been handed out by authorities.
It's a pretty grim situation. Miley Hogan there in the US Bureau for Channel 7 News. Thank you for that. Just a shocking situation, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awful. 11 degrees outside at the moment. Feels like 10.7. The forecast over the next few days. Tomorrow, possible early storm and 23, albeit it's not going to be a wet day, but maybe some storm activity. Certainly no rain around on what will be a picture-perfect Saturday in Adelaide. 28, the expected top. No rain at all. A little bit of a shower or two possible for Sunday and a top of 25. The change comes through, it drops down, and we might get some real decent showers on Monday, up to 15 mils of rain. 19 the top. Stays cool. Tuesday, a little bit of residual rain and 19, and then Wednesday, drizzly again, really, and a top of 21. So beautiful Saturday, but around it, we might get some rain and some storm activity. Let's have a look at some of the news headlines on this Wednesday morning. The Bureau of Meteorology, speaking of the Bureau and the source of that information just then, maintain public safety as a priority as they continue to face pushback over the new website. The federal government has now asked it to review the upgrades, with many users struggling to navigate the site. In a video statement, the Bureau's acting chief executive Peter Stone says he is aware of the concerns.
It's clear that we need to do more to help people better navigate the change, both by making adjustments to the website and by helping users to understand its new features.
Which is the classic statement that always comes out in software development when there is a great leap backwards, which is that you just need to get used to it, not that we didn't do it very well.
That's right. It's like the sort of reworking of that great line in Spinal Tap, where Marty DeBerge says to the band, "I noticed that on your previous tour you were playing 10,000 seat arenas. On this tour you're playing some college campuses, very small coffee shops, 200, 300 seat venues. Does this reflect perhaps a decline in the popularity of the band?" Not at all. I just think it shows that our fan base has become more discerning.
It's exactly that. It is exactly that. It was a huge day for SAPOL yesterday. 55 arrests were made as part of Operation Ironside. We'll be chatting with Deputy Commissioner Linda Williams about this after 8 o'clock. $25 million in criminal assets were seized. More arrests are coming. We're going to learn more about the people accused today in court because they started going through yesterday. 800.
They all look like they go to the gym a lot, these guys.
There's a lot of gym activity going on, a lot of testosterone. 833 charges, including money laundering, drug trafficking, drug manufacturing. Linda Williams, who, as I mentioned, we will speak to later, said hundreds of officers raided 23 properties.
Today, we executed the resolution phase of Operation Ironside 3.0. Hundreds of police officers were involved and we searched 23 properties. And that resulted in $25.8 million in criminal assets being restrained by police.
So, as I said, we'll learn more today, and we'll certainly learn more on 5AA Breakfast with Linda Williams after 8 o'clock. Tom Wren's in the 5AA Breakfast studio. Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors, gliderol.com.au. Morning to you, Rennie.
Morning, Will. Morning, David. We'll talk a bit of AFL. The rule changes have come out for next season, so I know it's a long way away.
Yeah, the annual rules changes.
Yeah, exactly. And I think...
Does FIFA do this?
Well, no, not really.
No one does this.
You just need to be across it because it will happen, and then you'll be like, when did this come in? So mark this date down. What is it? October 30, Thursday, October 30.
Some of them I like, though, I'm going to say. I just want to put it on the record.
Yeah, same. I don't mind the fact that they're moving the game on. I think the games do go for too long. I think now it's a 3-hour product. It's too long. Anyway, one of them, and this isn't going to help Riley O'Brien, for example. So the rucks have the, your half that you have to stay on, and you've been seeing a lot of wrestling in the ruck contests. Gone. So you have to stay on your side now. You're not allowed to cross over to engage in wrestling. So it's more of a jumping contest now. Think of players like Luke Jackson. They'll be loving this.
Malcolm Turnbull's right after all.
The jumping flying game.
Yeah. So, it's going to... The Jeff White players of yesteryear, they're going to love rule changes like this.
This is just a nightmare for Riley O'Brien.
Terrible.
His advantage against those guys was he was bigger and stronger. He could step across and stop their run at the football.
That's right.
So he's going to have to run and jump against the biggest athletes in the game now?
Yeah, it's going to be hard. Then the other one that's changed is the last touch rule. Now, we're used to this in the SANFL.
Yeah,
it's going to be between the 50-metre arcs. They're going absolutely wild in Melbourne about this. They can't understand
about it.
I think... Yeah, and I reckon to be fair, when it came in here initially, we did too.
We did too.
And then I think everyone went,
game's gone.
Pretty good.
Everyone went, the game's gone.
Yeah. So
but it's actually really good.
Yep. So that's happening.
It takes the deliberate nonsense out of it.
That's right. Exactly. It makes it easier.
I hate hearing fans going, deliberate.
Yeah.
Like, for God's sake, is that what we're here for?
That's right. So I actually think it's a good move. They're just going to try and lower time, and it means there's going to be less time with boundary throws, etc. Shorten the quarters. The other one too, which I think is probably the most contentious, is the shrugging. So if you get tackled and you shrug, that's considered you're trying to have prior opportunity holding the ball. When it happens simultaneously though, you grab the ball and someone tackles you, that's where it's going to get. There's the grey area. So good luck with that.
What's this new stand one, Rennie?
So that's bizarre. So if you take a mark and I'm playing directly on you, we all understand I'm going to have to stand. Yes. But if David's on my team as well and is in that protected area, he also has to stop and stand. So if you're in that protected, you can't just keep on running like you've been able to previously.
Like your teammate.
Yeah, you have to stop. You have to stop in that protected. Is
this netball now?
That's my understanding of it anyway.
It's like a kid's party game when the music stops, isn't it?
Stop.
Everybody freeze.
That's my understanding.
So hang on. So you could have a free penalised against you for something your teammate does.
Yeah. Well, if Will got a free kick and you're in the protected area, you have to stand. If you don't, it's a 50-metre penalty. We all have to stand if we're in that protected area, which is whatever it is, 2 by 2 metres or
Oh God, that sounds ridiculous.
So that's going to be one that I can see blood boiling up during games for that.
I reckon what will happen is there'll be because there's. With the multiple number of umpires, there could be a scenario where they both award a 50, one against the standing opposition player and one against the standing fellow teammate.
Well, yeah, so it's a 100-metre penalty.
I feel like the final scene of Reservoir Dogs. Right. Who's on first?
Yeah. So, look.
How ridiculous.
They're the main ones. The other thing, which I think you probably like, Will, and most people, is you don't have to have nominated rucks now. So
yeah, that's good. That was silly. That was like under sevens.
They're not going to wait. They're just going to go, away we go, keep the game moving. Yeah. So, look.
Mixed bag, I reckon.
Mixed bag, yeah. I think pretty good for the main, but we'll see how it goes.
Good on you, Rennie.
Thanks, boys.
This This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
A shower or two developing today in 25 with the 6:30 News. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Make RAA-approved windscreen repairer, Complete Windscreens, your insurer repairer of choice. Visit completewindscreens.com.au.
Hundreds of public sector nurses and midwives will take part in a Stop Work rally today. It's in the wake of their ongoing push for better pay. The local branch of the Nurses and Midwifery says the government should value and respect the workforce. The executive has reviewed the latest pay offer and will present its recommendation to members at the rally. They'll converge on the steps of Parliament House at 1:30 this afternoon. Former Brisbane footballer Reece Matheson has been banned from playing footy at all levels for 3 years. The 28-year-old breached the Australian Football Anti-Doping Code by testing positive to a banned substance. He was playing in the Queensland State League at the time after 72 games for the Lions between 2016 and 2023. Well, the US President and Prime Minister have once again dined side by side, this time in South Korea. Just 7 leaders were invited to the Hilton Hotel on the sidelines of the APEC summit. Donald Trump singing the praises of Anthony Albanese following last week's meeting at the White House.
You've done a fantastic job. We're working together on rare earths, but we're working on a lot of things together, and it's all working out very well.
Mr. Trump is preparing for a meeting with his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping. 2 men arrested over a heist at the Louvre in Paris are expected to be charged with theft and criminal conspiracy. A prosecutor says the suspects have partially admitted to the charges. The stolen crown jewels are yet to be recovered. Former US Vice President Kamala Harris has admitted it was reckless not to have opposed Joe Biden's decision to run for office again. Ms Harris tried to steer the conversation toward US President Donald Trump during an Australian interview. However, the ABC's Sarah Ferguson pressed her on her role as Vice President throughout the Biden campaign.
It is not the question that I asked you, which is about Joe Biden's failure to recognise his own frailties and what that did to you. The question is about Joe Biden. Are you still reluctant to criticise the former president?
In what regard, please?
Well, just in terms of that question. So you went
What exactly would you like to ask?
People living in disadvantaged communities are at a higher risk of stroke, which is a leading cause of death and disability. Carolee Katsambanis has the story.
The study carried out by medical researchers at the University of Tasmania is one of few in Australia to look at how socioeconomic areas affect rates of stroke. Tasmanian hospital and death records were analysed, pinpointing nearly 5,000 first-ever stroke cases between 2015 and 2020. Research revealing that people in the lowest socioeconomic group had a 33% higher risk of stroke than others, highlighting urgent public health concerns and the need for targeted prevention strategies across the nation, because it found stroke risk factors such as diabetes, high blood pressure and heart disease were also more common in the group.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Australia's opening match against India in the T20 series in Canberra has been washed out due to rain. Meantime, South Australia's fought back hard on day 2 of its Shield clash against WA thanks to a 6-wicket haul from Brendan Doggett. Skipper Nathan McSweeney also took 3 wickets. The home side all out for 306, a lead of 91 runs. SA reaching none for 6 at stumps in its second innings in reply. Meantime, straight off the plane and straight into form for Steve Smith with a classy 100 against Queensland at the Gabba. Curtis Patterson also made 100 as the Blues piled on the pain. Matt Renshaw will be hoping for plenty of time in the middle later today. Australia's women, meantime, will take on India tonight for a spot in the One-Day World Cup. The Aussies are hoping Alyssa Healy will return after missing the past couple of games with a calf injury. Stand-in skipper Talia McGrath telling Rowie and Timmy G it should be an incredible atmosphere.
Knockout games are a whole nother level. So we're really excited. It's at DY Patel, so we reckon there's going to be about 50,000 Indian fans in the crowd. And World Cup finals don't come around too often, so we're extremely excited. Know it's a huge job at hand, but ready to go and tackle it head on and play some good cricket.
Yeah, it should be a ripper. Well, the AFL will introduce 7 rule changes for next season. A free kick will now be paid for the last disposal out of bounds between the 50-metre arcs. And Australia has reclaimed netball's Constellation Cup with an epic win over New Zealand in extra time in Christchurch. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast, 25 with a shower or two developing today, a possible early storm tomorrow, 23, Saturday sunny, 28, then Sunday a shower or two, 25. Right now it's 11 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Now, we're not playing that because we want to torture our wonderful newsreader in Mel Usher, but she did draw the ire of James Blunt. Mel, we've mentioned the tweet. Your notifications are probably going berserk. Good morning to you. How are you feeling being involved in a blunt off this morning?
Good morning. Well, I feel very honoured to be blunted on social media because it's quite a badge of honour, like you said earlier. He doesn't do it all that often these days. I looked back and the last person was about 6 days ago and it was Nicki Minaj, who's a world-famous rapper.
Well, there you go.
So I'm in good company to be blunted along with her.
He came to Adelaide and he thought, I need to blunt a high-profile person, and he went Mel Usher, 5AA newsreader.
Of course. I mean, yes, it's a bit of argy-bargy online, but it's nothing nasty. I mean, geez, I think I've said a lot worse about people online than not. I've had a few people kind of going, well, who the hell are you? You know, and a lot of English fans have kind of taken aim at me. But, okay, to each their own. I don't like Ed Sheeran either, English people, so there you go.
Oh, Mel, you've opened up a new front.
Joining us now, Ed Sheeran.
Well, it's had 17,000 likes. It doesn't hurt my presence online.
Have you picked up any followers as a result?
Oh, maybe one or two.
Oh, that's great work, Mel.
Yeah,
he always does it with humour, though, doesn't he?
He does.
Some of his fans don't. He seems to have his own sort of standing army of quite angry people who are ready to jump to his defence.
It was very succinct, All I said was, sorry I missed the concert, not, and all he said was, nobody noticed.
Oh, that's excellent. You're both very funny. Good on you, Mel.
Okay.
Thanks, Mel. We are asking you this morning at 8223 0000 about the bands or artists that you accept are popular, but you just don't understand why. Lots of great nominations coming through on the Police Home Care text line, 0448 08 1395. You can call us on 8223 0000. I couldn't believe this story that's in the Tizer this morning. The 9th Avenue Christmas lights in St Peters. If you talk about the great lights installations around Adelaide at Christmas time, you've obviously got Loberthal. You've got Pelham Street down my way, 9th Avenue. There's the one, I can't think the name of the street. It's escaped me for a moment, but it's sort of inner west. Someone will know, but it's obviously not as far north as Pelham. It's more inner west. And then obviously 9th Avenue is fantastic. I've told the story last year on radio about, I think it was a 3-story high Grinch. Never seen anything like it. The biggest Christmas decoration in Adelaide. You can see it from space. Well, it sounds like, at least in part, some of that might be under threat. The local council's published a 70-page report requesting participants consider reducing the length of the December-long event, switch off their lights earlier, and rejecting any permits for food trucks and vendors. The council will also write to participants requesting they become an incorporated body. Dr. Anna Finizio is the Liberal candidate for the state seat of Dunstan. Anna, good morning to you. This came up. It sounds like this came up when you're out door knocking as well.
Oh, look, I'm telling you, it's like watching an episode of Utopia, but Christmas edition with what's transpired here. And certainly, I mean, you've just talked about the lights. They are really kind of one of the best events in the eastern suburbs. It's not Christmas without 9th Avenue for us. And the event's been going for probably, I think, over 30 years. I think they started it, it's probably close to my age, and I'll leave some mystery around that number. But it's been going for years. I enjoyed it as a kid, friends of mine, family, kids, it's just gone from generation to generation. We've seen more households participate as a result. And last year I had the good fortune actually of attending the Grinch house that you just spoke about. And, I spent the night chatting with residents, chatting with people that come from all over Adelaide actually to see the lights. And it's just one of the best events. It's just pure joy. And I think we all need a bit of joy this year. And after speaking to residents, I got the sense that the council had pretty much just made another crazy decision of overreach. And when you read the 80-page report, which cost ratepayers about $12,000, the things they've actually recommended, I can't see actually helping to address some of those concerns that were raised. So if we're going to shorten the length of the event, we're going to have more people coming in a shorter duration of time. So it's only going to make congestion worse. You know, we've had one ice cream man coming for about 20 years and they've denied him a permit this year. And residents are just really sad. And also a request to become an incorporated body. I mean, has the world gone absolutely bonkers? These residents, it's basically a street that comes together and they are the most lovely people. There's no ego involved. They're actually purely doing it because they know that it gives families so much enjoyment. It's a free event to attend, so you can come along. And, you know, I think things are really tough at the moment and it's something that families can look forward to at the end of the year. And they're just heartbroken. They don't want to fight with the council, guys. They want to work with the council to make this event fantastic, but they've kind of got no choice at the moment.
Who are the real Grinches, though, Anna? Because is it the council, or is it the council, or is it the locals who've complained? Because it sounds to me like there's a hardcore of locals who, you know, clearly get upset by the sound of children enjoying themselves and people having a good time and celebrating Christmas. So they've complained. The council should have just told them your concerns have been noted. The end.
Yeah, like they tell me from time to time when I write to them, that's for sure. So, you know, I think, like, there is definitely, look, I've door-knocked the street and there are definitely a couple of people that feel like, you know, that things have gotten, you know, it's gotten too big in their view. And but the reality is it's not a new event. It's been going on for years and years. So it's not new. It shouldn't come as a shock to anyone that you're going to expect people walking past at Christmas time. And I think that on balance, and that's, you have to have a reasonable head. We just want some common sense applied. This is an event which, you know, people come from all over Adelaide to enjoy, and it's not, people aren't drinking. The nature of the event is that it's actually quite lovely. They're walking slowly, they're driving slowly, everyone's stopping and having a chat. The kids are just having the best time of their lives. And I think, you know, for a few weeks of the year, the majority of the street and the majority of people that I've spoken to are pretty happy with the way things are. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I get people, you know, coming to me with issues that would love to see the council address, like, for example, footpaths where I have elderly residents tripping over all the time, or, you know, the need for safer pedestrian crossings at the Avenue Shopping Centre, or, you know, we've got streets in Kent Town which are so dark, which I've been begging for the council to put lights on, you know, only to see businesses being broken into as a result and things like that. They're the kind of things we'd love to see council getting stuck into, not into the Christmas lights. And I think that's what's really disappointing. And these are such beautiful people on 9th Avenue that really go, like, they put so much time and money and effort into making the street look absolutely dazzling for Christmas time. And they're not asking for anything. It's obviously they do it out of the goodness of their own heart. And for some of them, you know, they've got kids and grandkids that are now taking part in the event with them. It's really special. And in a time where I think people are feeling really disconnected, they're feeling a bit unsafe, and the community is something that's coming to me when I'm out and about. This is the antidote to this, guys. 9th Avenue is all that's good in the world right now. And as a result, the community is really tight there. I mean, obviously, with the exception of a couple of people that aren't happy, but the majority of them, through the lights, have actually formed quite a strong bond. They really look out for each other. They don't want to become an incorporated body. They're not an organisation. They're just residents that put lights out the front of the house, and, you know, they probably have a chat over the fence and that kind of thing. They just want to be left alone to do what they do so well for us every year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to be talking to the council later. Dr. Anna Finizio, the Liberal candidate for Dunstan.
I like this. Rob says to the tune of John Lennon's Merry Christmas, War is Over. And so this is Christmas. How long will the lights run? Make sure you're incorporated. No food trucks or fun. Marge at Hempstead Gardens, good morning.
Me. Oh, hi. Look, don't get me wrong. I like the Christmas lights and all that, but how about the other residents in the street? They're entitled to their, you know, peace and quiet and privacy. And, you know, this thing goes on like 6 and 8 weeks before Christmas. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I like the lights. We get a few around our place. I'll go around and have a look at them, but I can understand all these people with food trucks in your street, and it just goes on and on and on, you know. It wouldn't be so bad if it was a few weeks, but then you get after Christmas, you know, like people still running into January.
I'd be interested to know what... thank you, Marge.
Well, you mentioned Pelham Street before, Will. I've always wondered, because I've gone there a few times when the older kids were younger, who's the one person in Pelham Street with no decorations?
Oh, you can pick
what do they think of it?
You can pick them in 9th Avenue. And to Marge's point, the only issue is, and Anna Finizio made this point, it's been going on for, 3-4 decades now? Like, if you kind of bought into 9th Avenue and you start getting upset about the Christmas lights, that's a you problem.
Oh, correct. Well, it's like some of the people in my neck of the woods go, oh, the show's on.
Mm.
Yeah, it's the Royal Show. It's been here for about 125 years.
Yeah.
How long have you been in Wayville?
And also, Christmas is kind of what we do in this part of the world. I'm sorry.
I really think the council should just have a system whereby if complaints come in, if they're addressed from any of the avenues in St. Peter's, 1st Avenue, 2nd Avenue, 3rd Avenue, they just get put in the bin. Like, no, sorry. You live in 9th Avenue, St. Peter's. You can't complain about anything. You're doing all right.
Life's pretty good. Hey, I think it was Flinders Park, the lights in Flinders Park around Rayleigh Avenue that I couldn't think of earlier. We can't read those texts, David, so don't even think about it.
Oh, very funny.
Yeah, but let's say there's a lot of people that like Christmas lights uniting at the moment. And I'm not going to say any more. Rick in Aldinga.
Oh, Rick's here. Hey, Rick.
Rick at Aldinga Beach is called. You've got an artist that you don't quite understand for us, Rick.
Well, there's two. AC/DC, screechy voices, but the one that really I can't understand and don't get at all is Kiss. Just that has, I do not understand the Kiss Army. The whole thing about Kiss, just from their music, from anything, it just don't get it at all.
Good on you, Rick. That's
Thank you.
Provocative statement when those of us who were in the Kiss Army are still in the mandated 24 days periods of grief after the death of Ace.
Yeah, well, yes.
The spaceman.
It's a difficult time.
It is. I really like this one from Steve. Red Hot Chili Peppers. As Nick Cave said, I'm forever near a stereo saying, what the blank is this garbage? And the answer is always the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I didn't know Nick Cave said that. It's a great quote.
All right, we're going to check traffic, come back with police and weather in just a moment. Get an outfit that will stop traffic at a great price with Peter Shearer Menswear.
Thanks, Will, and morning, David. Don't normally have big delays this early in the morning, but we do today, unfortunately. At Kilburn, a truck v Stobie Pole Green Junction Road at Prospect Road. Got a blackout in the area. Detours in place, and as I mentioned before, really big delays through there. Parafielder crash, Kings Road near Horry-Miller Drive. Getting busy already at Flinders Park, the ongoing works of Grange Road and Holbrooks Road. And got a camera at Seaview Road at Grange to look out for. Do you or someone you care for need complex mental health support? Sane can help. Choose from a range of free digital and telehealth support services. Visit sane.org today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Hi, I'm Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. Spring has traditionally been the peak time for selling your home. As the gardens bloom, so too do buyer numbers. But while demand is high, stock levels remain at historic lows. That means more competition for the homes on the market and a greater chance of achieving a premium result for your property. At Toop and Toop, our experience, local knowledge and negotiation expertise give you the edge when it matters most. Visit toop.com.au to find out more.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
If you've been thinking it might be time to replace that tired old laptop or finally get the kids one of their own, Harvey Norman's tech run-out clearance is well worth a look. There's the Acer Aspire Lite 15 with a 15.6-inch Full HD screen, reliable Intel Celeron processor with a 128-gig SSD, and right now it's on sale for just $348. You'll save $120. If you want something a bit smarter, the Acer Aspire GoSpin 14 is a 2-in-1 computer. It switches between laptop, tablet or tent mode for sharing photos or watching together. This powerful Windows 11 computer with touchscreen is now only $748 from Harvey Norman.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
The Kia Tasman reviews from car expert are in.
Wow, that is impressive. It basically just crawled out of that with no issues at all.
The Tasman has even been tested at South Australia's famed testing facility, The Bend. So are you ready to test a Tasman for yourself? Tasman, the best ute you've never driven.
This is seriously cool. Very nice.
Visit your local Kia dealer now for a test drive.
Kia, movement that inspires. There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
10 minutes to 7. Yesterday was a corker. I wonder if we're going to get another one of those today. Let's find out with Jenny Horvat at the Weather Bureau. Morning to you, Jenny.
Good morning, guys.
Is it going to be similar?
Look, it's going to start off pretty nice, but we're going to see that cloud thickening up and maybe the chances of showers coming through. So we've got a trough of low pressure in the west, and ahead of that we've got one of these patchy cloud bands coming through. So currently it is 11.8 degrees at the West Terrace Naidapura observation site. We did see a minimum temperature around 5 a.m. of 10.6 degrees. We are aiming for 25 degrees in the city, 26 about the northern suburbs, maybe 23 or 24 along the coast, and 24 for Mount Barker. But as the morning progresses and we head into the afternoon, that cloud will thicken, and we are expecting to see the odd shower or two around, and it is an unsettled air mass, so the chance of a thunderstorm not out of the question. Could be this afternoon, but probably more likely as we head into the later part of this evening or early Friday morning. So the chance of showers continuing overnight into Friday, but clearing up relatively quickly during the morning on Friday. So it should be a pretty sunny afternoon. Minimum temperature on Friday looking at around 15 degrees, maximum of around 23. Lots of sunshine around on Saturday. We'll go back into a bit of a east-northeasterly airstream. Temperatures getting up to around 28 degrees after a minimum of 11. Got another system moving through on Sunday, so not dissimilar to today. So we'll start off pretty nice, looking at around 25 for that maximum, 17 degrees with the chance of a shower developing later in the day. Again, unsettled, maybe a thunderstorm risk as we head into Sunday afternoon and evening. Cooler start to next week with some showers around on the forecast, looking at around 19 to start the week there, guys.
Good stuff, Jenny. Bit of everything. Jenny Horvat there from the Weather Bureau.
All right, let's head to Soap Bowl. Senior Constable Daniel Isaacson joins us. Daniel, there's been an assault at Mawson Lakes this morning.
That's right. Just before 1 a.m. today, police attended a hotel on Main Street just after reports of two men involved in a fight. Police were quickly on scene, managing to detain both men without incident, a 21-year-old from Mawson Lakes and a 20-year-old from Paraka. Both men have been taken to hospital for treatment for minor injuries, and it's not believed to be random, as we reckon these two are known to each other. Investigations into the matter are continuing, and we ask that anyone who has witnessed the incident to call us on Crime Stoppers.
Daniel, also, there's been a crash at Kilburn. A truck has collided with a Stobie pole.
That's right. This one here is causing a little bit of chaos. About 5 a.m. today, police and emergency crews attended the intersection of Grand Junction Road and Boulderstone Road to reports of a semi-trailer colliding with a Stobie pole. Traffic diversions are in place with westbound lanes closed, with traffic diverted onto Prospect Road, and eastbound is down to one lane. Traffic patrols have attended and they are investigating the matter. The last update that we got was the SA Power Networks are on scene, but this could be going for some time today. Again, we ask if anybody who's seen this or might have dash cam to give us a call on Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.
Good stuff, Daniel. Senior Constable Daniel Isaacson there from SAPOL. That relates to the call that we had earlier about the bent Stobie pole there in Kilburn. Thanks for that.
Yeah, so it's set everyone's attention. Hopefully they'll get that one cleaned up as soon as possible. In Canberra at the moment, there's debate over an attempt to reform the Environment Protection and Biodiversity Conservation Act. Murray Watt's taken carriage of this for the federal government, and they tried to get bipartisan support for some changes. The coalition, though, have said that this process is, at the moment, looking like it's heading towards a resolution that's worse than the current set of laws. The Federal Shadow Environment Minister, Angie Bell, joins us. Angie Bell, good morning to you.
Good morning, boys. How are we this morning?
Good, thank you, Angie. So what are the concerns with this proposal?
Well, I think the question I would ask South Australians is that you might have trusted Murray Watt with the algal bloom, and look what happened. But currently he's about to put on the table the EPBC reforms, and he's also speaking at the press club here in Canberra today. But it's a 1,600-page document that we've just sort of received in full last night, and there are some problems with it. The way it is at the moment is completely unworkable. It's goodness me, it's a red light for jobs, it's an orange light for productivity, and it's a green light to go offshore in terms of investment in our country.
The Can I change tack, Angie, and ask you about the Weather Bureau, this new website? Because as you were coming on, we were getting we've had so many calls here. There's something like 40 South Australian towns that have fallen off the map with this republished website. Murray Watt seems to be the master of arriving late at the party. It took him months to work out we're having an algal bloom here. It's taken him several days to work out that everybody in Australia seems to hate the new bomb website. What's the coalition's view? Do you reckon they've stuffed it up? Do you think they should just go back to the old one?
Oh, well, you make a good point, and that is fail 1, algal bloom, fail 2, the Bureau of Meteorology website, which sits in Murray Watt's department, right? And let's see what happens with the EPBC Act, but they certainly failed in the last term to try and reform that. So, perhaps this is 3 failures for Murray Watt. 3 strikes, you're out.
The Bureau website's a disaster. Whilst we're on the topic of, whilst we're on the topic of talking about reforming legislation pertaining to the environment, any discussion on the definition of a natural disaster? So we might get their algal bloom included in that in future.
Well, I've read quite a bit of what's been put forward, and I can't say that there was much in there about that. But what there is a ballooning bureaucracy called the Environmental Protection Authority, which will have a CEO that's not accountable to the minister, can only be sacked by the Governor-General. That's a problem for wide, broad, sweeping powers. Big problem. The definition of unacceptable impacts, the definition of net gain in what I've seen is not definitive enough. It's in there so that we don't know what it actually means. And Scope 1 and 2 emissions reporting, which is, currently under the safeguard mechanism, is coming into the EPBC Act as well, which will be, again, more red tape and open to legal challenges.
Yeah, no, he's got a bit on his dance card, that's for sure. Angie Bell, the Federal Shadow Environment Minister, thank you for joining us. I've been meaning to read this out on air for days. I saved it from last week when the story first broke about the redesign of the BOM's website. So what do these South Australian towns have in common? Arthurton, Avon, Blackwood, Bow Hill. Bow Hill, one of my favourite stubby holders is from Bow Hill. Canopus, Cape Border, I'm not going to pronounce this right, Cape de Curdic, Cape Jervis, Clarendon, Cook Plains, Eden Valley, Farrell Flat, Floriton, Fowler's Bay, Gluepot. Where's Gluepot? Oh, if you're in Gluepot, give us a ring. We'll put you on air after 7 o'clock. Haslam, Kangarilla, Kulpara, Lochiel. Everyone's seen the Loch Ness Monster of Lochiel. Meadows, Mount Barker, Mount Compass, Mount Cooper, Mount Gunson, Maiponga, Oakton Hills, Palmer, Pandana, Pabinga, Penong, Penati, Port Julia, Port Kenny, Price, Ranella, Roseworthy, Tarlee, Truro, Watervale, Yakka. What do those towns all have in common?
I don't know. What?
They were all on the old BOM map, not on the new BOM map.
Isn't that shocking?
So how can, at a time when we should be all about the richness of data, the maximum amount of information for the maximum number of people. So they spend $4 million relaunching something that leaves all 40 of those South Australian communities off the weather map. It's just terrible. It's been done by some ponytailed idiots in Sydney. I'm a change agent. This is the web interface architect.
Yeah, but the thing that seems remarkable to me, if that were the case, I would imagine it would be a case of style over substance, and yet it both looks worse and contains less information.
Yeah, that's right,
and it costs $4.1 million.
Yeah,
Gluepot is about 2 hours out of Cadell.
Okay,
north.
So Riverland,
north Riverland. You have to get you take a ferry to get there, as it turns out, on the 2 hour route. Yeah. 5AA News is coming up. Went across to the scene of that truck and Stobie pole collision that a few of our listeners have reported after 7 o'clock. Peter Caldecott for 7 News at the scene.
Bow Hill, one of my favourite stubby holders is from Bow Hill.
Catching up with family and friends at home is always a special time. Make life easy with a welcome hand from your local Barnacle Bill. And right now, you could win a trip for 4 to the Gold Coast, all thanks to Barnacle Bill and Spark Travel. Major prize includes flights, accommodation and theme park entry. Plus, there are 8 weekly draws to win a Barnacle Bill treasure chest. Simply spend $30 in store and enter online for your chance to win. It's Barnacle Bill for seafood and much, much more.
Mawson Lakes Volkswagen has a problem. Too many Volkswagens, not enough space. Yep, they're overstocked, and that's very good news for you because every demo is priced to clear, like right now. Their solution? A huge demo clearance with hot prices. But that's not all. They're offering immediate delivery and finance so easy, you'll wonder why you didn't do this sooner. But don't wait. These demo Volkswagens won't sit around for long. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
Local news and information first. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
A shower or two developing in 25 today with the 7 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
For the best price, quality and same-day service, trust Complete Windscreens. RAA approved, Main North Road, Prospect.
2 men have been taken to hospital after a brawl at Mawson Lakes. Just before 1 this morning, police were called to a hotel on Main Street. Senior Constable Daniel Isaacs has told David and Will patrols responded quickly.
Managing to detain both men without incident, a 21-year-old from Mawson Lakes and a 20-year-old from FIVEAA. Both men have been taken to hospital for treatment for minor injuries, and it's not believed to be random, as we reckon these two are known to each other.
Public sector nurses and midwives will converge on the steps of Parliament House this afternoon. Their Stop Work rally is over better pay and respect. They say their role in delivering frontline care is not properly recognised. The executive has reviewed the latest pay offer and will present its recommendation at the rally. The Prime Minister has dined side by side with the US President in South Korea 1 week after their first meeting at the White House. Donald Trump singled out Anthony Albanese with the utmost praise as he prepares to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping.
We had a great meeting a week ago. You came all the way and now you came here, but this isn't quite as far. This time I travelled far.
2 men are expected to be charged over that robbery at the Louvre. More from Jessica Millwood.
Paris prosecutors have given an update on the robbery that's captivated the world, confirming 2 men in their 30s will be charged over the Louvre heist. Authorities say the jewels have not been located and they are still looking for 2 people involved. French authorities say there's no evidence this was an inside job and their investigations continue.
It's just 9 sleeps until we get behind the blue honour line for this year's Christmas pageant. The annual event is the largest public parade in the Southern Hemisphere. Tourism Minister Zoe Bettison says rain, hail or shine, it always attracts huge crowds.
We expect more than 300,000 people to line the streets. It's the day we all look forward to. Since 1933, the pageant has delighted its audiences and we can't wait to see it again on the 8th of November.
Adding greenery to your home has wider effects beyond just aesthetics. A Greener Spaces Better Places report reveals homes with greenery sell for more than those without, with an average hike of 17% across Australia. Domain's Nicola Powell says it's an easy way to enhance property value and appeal.
With greenery, we can get creative with small spaces, whether it's a balcony, courtyard or a vertical garden. I think, though, as our homes shrink and affordability tightens, greenery is one of those attainable ways to elevate lifestyle and also price.
Now turning to 5AA's sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Pat Cummins has taken a big step in his road to recovery from his back injury, bowling lightly in the nets yesterday as he tries to aim for a return in the second Ashes test in Brisbane. While he does that, South Aussie Brendan Doggett has reminded national selectors of what he's capable of after a brilliant bowling display for his state against Western Australia on day 2 of their Shield match at the WACA. Doggett took 6 for 48 in his first match for the season after overcoming a hamstring issue he's been recovering from. And he says it was nice to perform.
Yeah, obviously had that little hamstring niggle which kept me out of the first 2 Shield games, so I was just keen to come back and really want to just put on a good performance and bowl solidly. So I'm really pleased with how it's panned out, and the body, it's going well.
WA all out for 307 with SA none for 6 in its second innings, still trailing by 86 runs overall. Cam Bancroft top scored for the home side with 122, while around the country, Steve Smith looks to be an ominous touch, belting 118 for New South Wales against Queensland, while Sam Constas only managed 10. Australia's first T20 match, meantime, against India was washed out in Canberra overnight, with Game 2 to be played at the MCG tomorrow. And South Africa is the first side through to the Women's ODI World Cup after smashing England by 125 runs. Australia takes on India tonight. 7 AFL rule changes are expected to reduce the length of all football matches next season. The biggest tweak will see a free kick paid against the last player to dispose of the ball if it goes out of bounds between the 50-metre arcs. And Aussie Alex de Minaur's out on court in his first-round match at the Paris Masters against Canadian Gabriel Diallo. De Minaur started positively and he's up a break of serve in the first set. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
G'day there. Got a few delays at Kilburn this morning due to a truck and Stobie pole crash. Grand Junction Road at Prospect Road. Blackout in the area. Detour was in place. Seeing big delays through there. Parafielder crash. Kings Road near Horry Miller Drive. And Bedford Parker smash on the Southern Expressway just as you get off South Road at Tonsley with delays outbound. Camera this morning. Alma Terrace season. Get the price you really want with Ford's great drive-away deals on a selection of vehicles across the range. Get to your participating local Ford dealer now while stocks last. See Ford.com.au for T's and C's. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA weather, 25 today, but with a shower or two developing. A possible early storm tomorrow, 23. Saturday, sunny, 28. Sunday, a shower or two, 25. Right now, it's 13 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Getting Westpac's lowest online variable rate on your home loan means you can breathe a little easier. You can sleep a little deeper. And you can focus on being a little more zen. For a home loan that gives you a little less to think about, apply online at westpac.com.au today. To get it done, it takes a little Westpac. Eligibility, exclusions, conditions, credit criteria, fees and charges apply. Variable rate offer available for online digital applications only.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
7 after 7. Spoke a bit about the new Bureau website in the first hour. Go through the list of towns that are no longer on the Bureau website again.
All of them?
Yeah, well, give us a smattering.
I'll call it up.
Well, one of them that is not is Gluepot.
Gluepot.
We wanted to find out more. Ian Falkenberg is the Gluepot Reserve chairperson.
Oh, wow.
Ian, good morning to you.
Yes, good morning.
Must be a bit,
Thanks so much for calling in, Ian.
It must be a little bit distressing to know that you've been disappeared by the Weather Bureau, Ian.
Well, yes, that the Bureau has supported Gluepot for many, many years, so it is a bit disappointing.
So you were already aware, Ian, that you had fallen off the map?
Gluepot, I guess, is a location that the Bureau have wanted some fairly detailed weather from for a long time, almost 2 decades. And so this year they did reduce the amount of information they wanted from Gluepot, and I wasn't aware that we were taken off the list, but because we still do contribute some weather information to the Bureau.
What's something, Ian, that every South Australian should know about Gluepot?
Well, Gluepot's a pretty important place for bird life, and whilst it's owned by BirdLife Australia, the interesting thing about Gluepot is it's run entirely by volunteers. The volunteers are the backbone of Gluepot Reserve. It's a 54,000 hectare property located in the Mallee, 22 nationally threatened species of birds, 53 species of reptiles, 12 species of bats, many of them nationally threatened. So this 54,000 hectare property is pretty important for the protection of that wildlife.
How did it get its name, Gluepot, Ian?
Well, Gluepot used to be a pastoral property. It's located about an hour north of Waikerie. It's in the Mallee, as I said. But it used to be run as a pastoral property. Sheep were grazed there. And, of course, not surprisingly, when it rained, the soil turned to glue, hence the reason they called it Gluepot.
Wow. What a fascinating spot.
Well, Ian, you might have been forgotten by the Bureau, but not by us. Good to chat with you, mate. Thanks for your time.
It's a pleasure.
Ian Falkenberg, the Gluepot Reserve chairperson.
Make Gluepot great again, I say.
Come on, Bureau.
Yeah.
You get paid $4.1 million by the taxpayers to forget about places in South Australia.
How can Meadows and Kangarilla not be on it anymore? Myponga. Like, these are big places.
Because it's so
emblematic.
It's
Mount
the opposite
Compass.
of data rich. Everything about it's been stripped back and pared back.
See, the problem is that's money that's just gone. How much money do we waste as a community? Speaking of which, has the Campbelltown Council got rocks in its head? They want to spend $61 million building their own Taj Mahal council chambers that's going to have a performing arts space in it, that the council has been advised this will make a loss. This will definitely make a loss. And they're like, okay, let's build it then. Seriously, these people, Holdfast Bay are the classic example. These people do not have the skill set to make multi-million-dollar decisions. They simply do not. Like, they're not up to it. Do they have any training? They have no training. Like, at least now federal and state MPs through the McKell Institute, when people get into politics, they get trained on things like how to read a P&L and how to read, what's cabinet in confidence mean, what are the legalities of... No, these people, they're training wheels politicians, spending millions and millions and millions of dollars, and the Campbelltown Council has been told, under one of the models, if you do this, rates are going to go up by 9%.
That's ridiculous.
Like, why are they even thinking about it? Is the building out there so bad at the moment that they need a new one? Are people developing asbestosis or, dying of exposure to the elements because the building... Like, no. A $61 million building.
And you contrast that with how sporting clubs and other entities try to scrape together whatever facility they can because they've got a grant or they've raised money from members and so forth. And they've got to try and account for every single cent just to get something that works to fit the job because there's no endless credit line or budget line for them. The level of frugality and fiscal responsibility that comes with that, how does it stand in contrast with the council saying we're going to spend $61 million on a council chamber because that's how much we can spend?
It's just crazy.
It's just ludicrous. Let's head to the scene of a disturbance this morning on Grand Junction Road. Peter Caldecott for 7 News is there where, PC, we were told earlier it looks like a truck's hit a Stobie pole. Is that your understanding?
Yeah, good morning, guys. I don't know what it is, but there's something about trucks, Stobie poles and Grand Junction Road. It's happened again. This happened almost to the day a year ago where a truck heading west on Grand Junction Road early in the morning has lost control, run off the road, slammed into a Stobie pole. Now, I'm looking directly at the pole, and it's on a 45-degree angle over the road, and all the wires are precariously hanging over the road. The police have blocked off all traffic heading west, so please don't head west on Grand Junction Road. You won't get through. You'll be diverted. There's one lane opening that's heading east, and so they're allowing minimal traffic through there, but I think that's about to stop because the SAPR network trucks are coming in and they're going to be doing a lot of work. But almost a year ago, exactly the same thing happened, and the truck kept going that time, and that happened again this morning. A truck kept going. Now, I believe I've been told that police have located the driver and are talking to him, but I haven't confirmed that. But it's just another bizarre event that's going to cause chaos for all the businesses along here this morning. It's directly outside Wales Heavy Vehicles Repairs, which is a huge trucking repair company. So they can't even get into their business this morning, and they probably won't all day because it'll probably take most of the day to fix it.
What a drag. Good report, as always, Pete. Peter Caldecott there for 7 News Adelaide. Great point Ben Jordan makes. Our great friend Ben, resident stats man on the police home care text line. One of the drivers of the inflation increase yesterday was council rates. Campbelltown will lead the way for further increases. I mean, we doff our cap to the people down at the Bay. $40 million to create a upgraded jetty road with 25 fewer car parks than before.
But doing their bit. Let's even contrast that though against the council chambers. At very least, they could argue that down the track it's going to make it a more attractive. Like whether you believe it or not, at very least there's a prima facie argument you can make that it'll make it a more pleasant shopping experience or somewhere more people will want to come, and there's a sort of a cost benefit attached to it. What is the cost benefit of an upgraded council chamber?
Yeah.
What does that do for anyone locally?
Well, it makes it look like it's a complete vanity project, doesn't it?
Inflation is very much front of mind given the CPI data that came out yesterday. The September quarter inflation data surprised to the upside. 1.3% for the quarter, which means 3.2% year on year. Of course, the target band being 2 to 3%, even trimmed mean now is at 3% year on year, which is right on the edge or effectively outside the Reserve Bank's target band. We spoke about electricity earlier, 23.6% over the year. And it's interesting because last night, whilst you've been sleeping, the Fed in the US cut rates, the Bank of Canada has cut rates. We are looking now at a hold for Melbourne Cup Day and potentially maybe an increase at some point in 2026. Sally Tyndall, the Data Insights Director for CanStar, joins us. Sally, what was your reading of the CPI data yesterday and what it's going to mean for rates over the next 12 months?
Well, I think it's a nail in the coffin for a cash rate cut anytime soon. And I do think a potential nail in the coffin for any further cuts 2025 or 26, like time will tell, but it really doesn't paint a great picture of where the inflation battle is sitting at. We've made huge progress over the last couple of years, huge progress, but we're really having trouble getting inflation right down to that midpoint of the target band. They're aiming for 2.5%. It's becoming a lot more difficult than perhaps the RBA expected. And I do think that the RBA thought that the neutral cash rate, where it's not applying any pressure or not helping stimulate the economy, that neutral level. I do think that they thought it was a little bit lower, but I wouldn't be surprised if the RBA now comes through and revises its own forecast, because I think we might already be at that neutral spot. Not great news for anyone with a mortgage. Good news for people that have a savings account, mind you.
Well, that's true, yeah, for people who are living off the interest on their savings. It's always good. What were the big drivers of the increase in inflation, Sally? We know power is one.
Yeah, electricity is the biggest one, 23.6% increase from the previous year. But when you're measuring that, they take a point in time from the previous year. And at that point in time, Queensland government had just handed out $1,000 to households on their electricity bills. So, artificially lowering the prices there. Similar rebates, not quite as big in WA and Tasmania. And then, of course, the Commonwealth has their electricity relief running at that point in time as well. So that was making electricity prices artificially and temporarily lower a year ago. Now most of the rebates have come off the boil. Most households now have that last $75 from the federal government in their electricity account. But underlying that is higher electricity prices. And I think some households haven't yet realised that that's actually happened. Electricity prices without the rebates has gone up 5.9% in the year. So when that final $75 runs out, what households will be faced with is no more sweeteners from the federal government, but also higher electricity prices. Come summer, it's going to be bill shock for many families across the country.
How do you think the RBA, Sally, is going to rate the inflation data yesterday against what looked like a little bit of a more wobbly employment picture in Australia?
It's really interesting at the moment because back when we had high inflation, the RBA needed to act quickly. They knew what to do. They knew they needed to hike interest rates, stop spending and help bring down inflation. It was clear. Now that we're getting to the pointy end where we're not quite sure where that neutral rate is, the decisions are a lot harder because I think during that time of really high inflation, we had forgotten that the RBA has this dual mandate. Their dual mandate is to keep prices in check. That's one. But the other one is to keep Australians in jobs. And now the unemployment rate has spiked up to 4.5%. That really illustrates how difficult the juggling act is at the moment for the RBA. These are competing priorities now for the RBA because higher unemployment would mean, we might ease the cash rate, stimulate the economy a little bit more, create more jobs. But higher inflation means you'd hike the cash rate. So it's crunch time for the RBA. I do think that inflation will win out at this point in time because we've only had one really wobbly round of unemployment data, and even then it wasn't that wobbly in the RBA's eyes. They will want more data on their side to see whether it's a trend or not. I think it'll become a more difficult decision, say February of next year. I think it's a very easy decision for the RBA come Tuesday. I do not think they're going to cut or hike the cash rate on Tuesday.
Sally Tyndall, CanStar Data Insights Director, thank you for that. It's depressing, isn't it?
It's not the kind of shock we wanted.
If you look at the people who attract the most criticism within the Albanese government, I mean, setting aside Albo himself, because the Prime Minister always is a polarising figure. Some people love them, others can't stand them. But within the cabinet, by the length of the Flemington Strait, the guy who gets the most flack from our listeners, and our listeners being an excellent and reliable focus group of public sentiment on so many things. I'm sure that they reflect the national mood. The weakest link in a delivering on promises sense in the Albanese cabinet is Chris Bowen. I think they need a total reset, and they need to get rid of that bloke, because he is just so consistently promised the world and not even gone close to delivering when he talks about renewables bringing the cost of everything down. They demonstrably are not. Like
23.6% last 12 months.
Like, you can't keep saying that. And I see the guy on TV and I just think you're a fraud. You're full of it. You're completely full of it. And they need to get someone who is much more sort of aligned with the political values and ideals of our local Labor team here, who's much more unashamedly pro-gas, who's going to come in with a fresh set of eyes and go, look, okay, this is the stuff that's not working. This is what we need to change. Because Bowen is just this sort of...
Well, politically, they might see that the opposite of that. He's the political meat shield for Anthony Albanese. And he can be the front-facing guy who cops all the flack for these unpopular policies, and he seems to cop the bullets that Albo doesn't.
Do you reckon he's like the human shield?
It seems to be that way.
Yeah, I suppose it's sort of like being in charge of energy policy. It's sort of like being in charge of fixing hospital ramping, isn't it?
Correct. All right, let's check traffic. Get an outfit that will stop traffic at a great price with Peter Shearer Menswear.
At Kilburn, a truck v Stobie Pole, Grand Junction Road at Prospect Road, Blackett in the area. Detours in places seeing big delays this morning. Parafielder crashed there too. Kings Road near Horrymiller Drive and Bedford Park, another collision. It's on the Southern Expressway. Just you get off South Road at Tonsley with delays outbound. Curra's Frederick Road, Grange and Military Road at Grange as well today. FBOS fees are great for banks, not businesses. Pay no fees or terminal rental with SmartPay. Visit smartpay.com.au. T's and C's and minimum turnover apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Summer's on the way. Beat the rush and organise your Walco pool blanket now. Keep your pool clean, warm and reduce evaporation. Uncover the savings with a Walco pool blanket. Visit walco.com.au.
Hi, Brett Ebert here for Mawson Lakes Mazda. There's a lot to like about Mawson Lakes Mazda. They'll take care of you with next day servicing, complimentary loan car, vacuum and wash. And your breakfast or lunch is on them. Your car gets the love too with their state-of-the-art service centre, brimming with top-trained mechanics. At Mawson Lakes Mazda, they'll look after your car and look after you. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city.
You could win a trip for four to the Gold Coast, all thanks to Barnacle Bill and Spark Travel. Major prize includes flights, accommodation and theme park entry, plus weekly draw to win a Barnacle Bill treasure chest. It's Barnacle Bill for seafood and much, much more.
Now at Harvey Norman, 10% off selected AEG kitchen appliances plus 10-year manufacturer's warranty. That's right, upgrade to premium AEG kitchen appliances and save 10% off selected AEG ovens and cooktops plus 10-year warranty. 10% off selected AEG range hoods and dishwashers and 10-year warranty. Experience the premium German-designed AEG range with this amazing offer in-store and online. 10% off selected AEG kitchen appliances plus 10-year manufacturer's warranty at Harvey Norman now. Conditions apply.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
25 minutes after 7, Matt Abraham not too far away. Then after 8 o'clock today, we'll be chatting with the Deputy Police Commissioner, Linda Williams, about that remarkable 55 arrests that were made yesterday as part of the Operation Ironside, people using that Anom app that ingeniously was developed by law enforcement, distributed amongst crims, and they've all been caught using it. So we'll be talking about that a little bit later. Speaking of criminality, there are two bits of legislation before Parliament to deal with the youth crime crisis we have in South Australia, and we wanted to get the perspective of the with the Guardian for Children and Young People here in South Australia, Shona Reid. Shona, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
We're good, thank you, Shona. Now, we had so much feedback over the last 2 days in light of the incident at the Plimpton bottle shop on Monday. It became a bit of a flashpoint for a lot of concerns people have about youth crime, particularly recidivist youth crime. Do you have any fundamental sort of philosophical problem with the idea that some young people are so off the tracks that they do need to be locked up for a period for their own good and for everybody else's?
Look, I think it's really important that we put things into perspective, and I am obviously greatly concerned about our community safety and our children's safety too, because that's part of they're part of our community as well. But let's get the facts in for just a second. Is that South Australia has halved its crime rate over the last 17 years, and even the number of young people in detention has reduced by 35%. So I just wanted to chuck that in. But I do absolutely believe that children who are caught up in cycles of offending absolutely need our support. My question is it the youth detention facility that can do that, or are there other ways that we can do that? And I absolutely believe, having been in the youth detention centre, having my staff visit the youth detention centre regularly twice a week, I don't believe that is the best place that is charged or capable of providing rehabilitative and education support for our children, especially with the developmental needs, the mental health needs that they have, but even the cognitive disabilities that they might have. I think we have a better way of doing that, and we have the talents in South Australia to help our children get back on track.
But I'm talking here, like your comments about crime might be true in their totality, but for people who work in hospitality, retail, particularly involving liquor, this has become routine for them. Their exposure to these crimes, and Will had some stats the other day about there's like a hard core of about 20 of these kids that are responsible for 11% of the crimes. They're the ones I'm talking about. Rather than having a system where we set up CCTV so that they can film the same kids coming towards the same bottle shop and put the roller door down hoping they don't smash the joint up again. They're the kids I'm saying who everything else has failed. They keep breaking the law, so they need to be taken off the streets.
I think that there's definitely programs and services that I have seen. I was just in a conference in Melbourne just yesterday and saw some amazing work where they reduced youth offending, high-risk offending and repeat offending by 85% by doing these intense programs with young men and young women, especially those that you're talking about here. And you're right, it is scary. What we are facing is a moment in time where we have to invest in other alternatives for children. Youth detention clearly is not working because this is what is happening. We've been doing the same thing over and over again. We haven't tried anything new, but there are programs that are existing in other states that are reducing youth offending, and I think we should be looking at those rather than trying to develop legislation for a small cohort of children that we know is not going to work.
And just finally, Shane, I know we're up against it time-wise, but
I know. I
always think with these young people, I've got, even at their worst, I wonder where their mum and dad are. Are their parents like a bit of a lost cause in terms of getting them to play a role in getting their kids back on the straight and narrow? Because they never seem to feature in the discussion much.
when I talk to children, that is one of the biggest things that they talk about, is that they talk about needing people around them, their family, their community, and the system around them to help them find different alternatives and a different path in life. And if we don't work on that at the same time as supporting our children, they're going to go back into the same environments. That is a fundamental, and you're absolutely right, that is a fundamental part of being able to provide appropriate rehabilitation, but also put the settings right for our community and our families. Otherwise, children are just going to go back where they came from, and the cycle isn't going to be disrupted at all. So we have a lot of work to do. But do you know what? We have the talents in South Australia to do it. We just need to invest in it.
Shona Reid, the Guardian for Children and Young People, thank you for joining us this morning.
Matt Abraham coming up right after 5AA News.
Get into the festive spirit at the National Pharmacy's Christmas Pageant Saturday, November 8th. From 9:30am, floats will roll through the streets with Father Christmas and special guest Emma. For route map and float list, visit christmaspageant.com.au.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
A shower or two developing 25 today with the 7:30 news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Chipped windscreen. RAA approved repairer Complete Windscreens repairs it from just $99. Find the big red koala.
A brawl at Mawson Lakes has landed 2 men in hospital. Police were called to a hotel on Main Street just after 1 this morning and detained both men without incident. The 21-year-old from Mawson Lakes and 20-year-old from Paraka suffered minor injuries. It's not believed to be a random attack. Police believe the pair know each other. A young cricketer in Melbourne who suffered traumatic injuries at training has died in hospital. Madeline Burke reports.
The Ferntree Gully Cricket Club has confirmed the tragic passing of Ben Austin. It's believed the 17-year-old was struck in the neck by a ball during a pre-match net session at Wallichew Reserve on Tuesday. He was taken to hospital where he sadly died yesterday with his family by his side. Ben has been described as a rising star of suburban cricket. In a statement, the club says, "We are absolutely devastated by the passing of Ben, and the impacts of his death will be felt by all in our cricket community." Ben's family has thanked emergency services, the Monash Children's Hospital, and all those who assisted at the ground.
A development today in the Louvre heist. 2 suspects arrested in connection with the museum robbery have admitted involvement and been remanded in custody. The 7-minute raid on October 19 netted the group 8 pieces of jewellery regarded as France's crown jewels. Investigators are hopeful the jewellery will be found and returned to the Louvre. Hurricane Melissa has left dozens dead and caused widespread destruction across the Caribbean. More from Lauren Tomasi.
The devastation spans multiple countries across the Caribbean, but is Jamaica bearing the brunt? Authorities on the island say the damage is extensive and catastrophic, but they're unable to gain a full picture of the impact because more than 3/4 of the island is without power and most roads are impassable. This is the most powerful hurricane to make landfall in the region in 90 years, and more than 30 people have now been confirmed dead across the Caribbean, with Cuba also hit hard, and in Haiti, a river breaking its banks and killing 24 people. The United States is now deploying rescue teams to the area with the big task of recovery ahead.
And Steve Martin is on top of the charts in the US. The actor and comedian, who's also an acclaimed banjo player, has notched up his 7th #1 album on the Bluegrass chart. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
And what is happening in the world of cricket, Tom Wren?
Well, a lot going on at the moment, Mel, and Steve Smith looks to be an ominous touch ahead of the Ashes series after a ton for New South Wales against Queensland in their Shield clash yesterday.
There he punches it down the ground. He just wanted the single. That was enough. It takes Steve Smith to 100 runs. He removes the helmet, salutes the crowd.
Yeah, great knock. He made 118, while Cam Bancroft sent a reminder to selectors with 122 against South Australia. That's in their Sheffield Shield clash at the WACA. The home side all out for 307 after SA managed 215 in their first innings. SA reaching none for 6 at stumps in their second dig, still 86 runs behind with 2 days to play. Well, in a dramatic final, Australia has defeated New Zealand in the final seconds of extra time to claim the Constellation Cup. but the win was soured with an injury to star defender Sunday Ariang. Mid-quarter, Liz Watson says it's a bittersweet moment.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I mean, to get the win's awesome. I guess the way it finished, not so awesome, but I mean, it's just a weird format to play that extra 14 minutes, to be honest. But look, everyone had a great series and we're really proud to be able to finish with the cup.
Audio there thanks to Fox Sports. Alex de Minaur's locked in a tight first set against Canadian Gabriel Diallo with the match into a tiebreaker in the first set. Earlier, the number 2 seed Yannick Sinner had a straight sets win against Zizou Bergs. The Toronto Blue Jays have levelled the World Series at 2 games all after a convincing 6-2 win against the LA Dodgers in Game 4. Slugger Vladimir Guerrero Jr. giving star Dodgers Shohei Ohtani a taste of his own medicine.
He hits that one high and deep to left field. It is gone! A 2-run homer against Ohtani.
Yeah, that was a lovely strike. Audio thanks to ESPN. Game 5 to be played again in LA later this morning. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there. Real schmozzle this morning at Kilburn. Got a truck that's gone into a Stobie pole. Massive delays through there. Detours in place. It's Grand Junction Road at Prospect Road. Grand Junction closed in one direction. Avoid that this morning if you can. Parafield Crash, Kings Road near Horrimiller Drive and Bedford Park and other Bengal on the Southern Expressway. Just as getting off South Road at Tonsley. Delays outbound. Camera, Port Road, Woodville Park. Harvey Norman, cooking with the world's best brands. Save 10% on selected AEG ovens, cooktops, range hoods and dishwashers, plus a 10-year warranty. Go Harvey Norman, Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast 25 for your Thursday with a shower or two developing, a possible early storm tomorrow 23, then Saturday sunny 28, Sunday a shower or two 25. Right now it's 14 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
It's a tragic fact. Unused clothes and shoes can lie forgotten in cupboards and drawers for years. Cold, dark, alone. But on Saturday, November 1st, you can set your unused clothes free at South Australia's biggest textile recycling event. Simply pack up your clean, good quality garments and linens and drop them off at your nearest collection point between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. on Saturday, November 1st. To find your nearest collection point, visit greenindustries.sa.gov.au.
Here at 5AA, we're all about supporting local. The Excelsior Hotel's $22 schnitzel and pint offer in the front bar every day. The Excelsior Hotel, Coghlan Street, Brompton. Feels like coming home, but better.
For 50 years, Sterling Homes has set the standard. As we mark our 50th anniversary, we invite you to share your dream with us. To celebrate, we're giving you $15,000 in luxury upgrades your way at no extra cost. Choose from reverse cycle air conditioning, stone bench tops, solar panels and more. Plus, we're including 2.7 metre high ceilings. It's your home built your way because at Sterling Homes, your home. Find your nearest display home location at sterlinghomes.com.au. T's and C's apply.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
I was, I'm bugging.
This is Democracy Manifest.
They're eating the dogs.
I tell you what, any boss who sacks anyone for not turning up today is a bum.
Matt. Ah, yes. Fun time of the week. Matt Abraham in the 5AA Breakfast Studio. You can watch along on the Facebook or YouTube live stream dissecting the spin of the week. Matt keeps his eye on everything, but I didn't know to the degree until he wandered into the studio this morning with an iPad.
Yes.
That had on it, Matt, pictures of the boat ramp
at Port Hughes.
Yeah,
so one, good morning, David and Will. Will and David.
Good morning.
Good morning, listeners. I used to hate it when you'd have a big build-up to somebody and they'd start off by saying, good morning, listeners. No, don't have to say that. But anyway. First time caller, long-term listener. Time listener. But anyway, no. Just to come back to your perfect intro there, which I've just trashed, Will. So the Port Hughes boat ramp. So at midnight last night, I'm having a look at, I flick through the various boat ramp live cams just to see what drug deals are going down at O'Sully's boat ramp.
Don't besmirch the good name of my birthplace.
Well, either that or I don't know. Anyway, something's going on there. But So last night at Port Hughes boat ramp, there's a guy bringing his boat in. These are live cams, okay? So Port Hughes is where people are catching whiting, okay? And as of Saturday, the limit per person will be 5, currently 10 whiting. People have been bagging out there, putting up photos stupidly on social media, and the government has said, oh, that doesn't look good. This morning, I check it at 5:30 a.m., it is Rampageddon at Port Hughes.
Looks like the Ra.
There are so many boats launching.
No room on the ramp.
Exactly. It's the one ramping that people approve of. So fishers are going nuts because on Saturday the new limits kick in. But driving in this morning, listening to you guys talking about councils and whether they ever do cost-benefit analysis on anything, and I've been having that thought about the state government, particularly in relation to the hydrogen plant that's blown like nearly $500 million. And how much sort of due diligence was done on that before it was announced as an election policy and then before they started throwing hundreds of millions of dollars at it. Now, you assume at some level there was some sort of due diligence done about whether this was going to be a goer or not.
Well, I don't know. It was all done from opposition.
I know.
When they didn't really have the same level of staff, well, not even close.
Felt like trendy science.
Yeah.
Felt like a lot of people in the private sector were talking about, we need to invest a bit in this. And then gradually no one saw it.
Twiggy was doing it. Must be
right.
Good.
And funnily enough, when the private sector, who does have to do cost-benefit analysis on this, started doing it more, they went, it's not going
to stack up.
This doesn't stack up.
No.
Yeah, exactly, which is why they've all fallen over like 9 pins.
And I do think generally that Peter Malinauskas has a pretty good grasp on policy. I like to think that. But on these fishing restrictions, which came out of the blue, 3 weeks ago, vouchers are being handed out to people to visit regional, particularly coastal towns. And the Premier was saying, and they're bagging out, on the western side of the peninsula, the fish is great there, they're bagging out. 3 weeks later, suddenly, that's bad. So in the course of just a few weeks, the Premier's gone from extolling the tourism virtues of people being able to bag out, in other words, catch their limit of fish, to we've got to cut back on this. And apparently it's science. And I wonder, how much science can you do into the biomass of this vast area of our Gulf in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, or even actually 6 months?
But is part of it possibly, Matt, and you'd know better as a keen angler. You're a mad fisho, and like everyone who gets into it and has got a boat, it becomes an all-consuming passion. You're always thinking about doing it. Your cousin Phil, he's the same. Always wants to get out of Canberra and head down to Bateman's Bay or Narooma and try to bag out. Wet a line. Is there an argument? Does part of you think, well, maybe for the longer term benefit, we'll err on the side of caution and give the fish a chance?
Oh no, a few weeks ago on this show, I was saying, look, limit your catch rather than catch your limit.
Yeah,
wreck fishers are their own worst enemies. They just. It's as you can see, launching boats at 5:30 at Port Hughes is nuts.
For a family of 4, a 5 whiting equals 10 fillets equals more than enough for dinner.
I know that, but you've got people who like to pig out. Like if you can catch 10, if you can catch 10, you catch 10, and we get Victorians drive over here, go to places like Port Hughes or Ceduna with freezers with generators on the back of their utes, and just pig out on whiting and snapper and fill up the freezers. Now, it's illegal to do that, actually, but no one ever checks how much you've got. There are 2 limits, well, several limits. One is your catch limit, and the other is how much fish you're actually allowed to have in storage, in a freezer. Like after you've been fishing.
Aware of that.
Yeah.
Really?
So, there's a limit on that. You can't come up, get 3 mates, go out, bag out every day for a week and come home with 1,000 fish in the back of your ute. But no one ever checks.
Huh.
A lot of that goes on.
Hey, what are your fishing mates telling you about snapper? Because that was quietly tacked on as an extension.
That was tacked on as an extension to it. There's snapper in the Gulf. They love like the snapper are back, and from all the reports you hear of people who are able to fish, there's not a lot of them, but certainly off Victor Harbour where people are fishing and the water is clean again. There are snapper there. People are catching. It's a healthy stocks of snapper.
But you still got to chuck them back at the moment.
No, you can keep if from Victor onwards, you're okay. You're able to catch snapper. Or you go to Melbourne, Port Phillip Bay, where you can catch all the whiting you want, off a city about 5 times the size of Adelaide. One of the things, it's a good idea that you've got to give fish a break. It's almost an academic argument in the off the metro waters because no one's fishing there because there's no fish there. No one is launching off North Haven, O'Sullivan's Beach, West Beach. Forget it. So it's an academic argument there. It's you take a cautious approach. My concern is the track record on reducing catch limits is they become permanent. Now, this is meant to be temporary. Come June next year, will it still be like the snapper ban that was going to be temporary and has just been extended and extended and extended? I mean, it is effectively a permanent ban on catching snapper.
8 years.
Yeah. So are we going to see that with whiting as a permanent restriction? Because that's Sardi and Purza love that. They'd rather no one was fishing in the Gulf except...
Who can say anything permanent about what's going to happen
in
our waters at the moment? Anything's believable. Hey, just lastly on policy, not policy, this is more on terminology when it comes to our oceans and so forth, Matt, from a listener who wanted you to give a ruling on this because they're perturbed about seeing in a lot of reporting about bans and fishing, the use of the Gulf St Vincent. The listener says, it may or may not be our Aberdeen correspondent Dave Lloyd, this is a hill I'll die on. It's just Gulf St Vincent, not the Gulf St Vincent, or at worst, St Vincent Gulf. Can you make a ruling on this for us?
Well, they're obviously a former ABC listener who've come across. I bet they support a big pipeline bringing water from Queensland down to South Australia as well. It's always St Vincent's Gulf to me, or the Gulf, isn't it? The Gulf.
I say St Vincent's Gulf.
St Vincent, yeah. Who says Gulf St Vincent?
All the government communication says Gulf St Vincent.
They do.
Of course they do.
It sounds kind of archaic to me. It's like talking about, the Argentine or the Ukraine. For a long time, it was the Ukraine.
Yeah.
Your neck of the woods, the Levantine.
Yes.
As it was known for a long
Netherlands.
time.
The Netherlands.
There's no Holland.
Funny. No.
Anyway.
Hey, Matt, the other thing I spied, and I don't sound like I've gone through your stuff, but you had pictures of boat ramps on your iPad, and very excitingly, it looked to me like you came in with an updated Macarus Abraham pendulum.
Yes, this is thank you, David, because you found this in your archives, the Abraham pendulum, which
I kept it. It's in my desk drawer.
It's in the desk drawer. I've updated it because I'd forgotten that black is now over in the ALP ledger, and I'd forgotten how much they won black by, which was the David Spears' seat that the Labor won in a by-election. 9.9%'s the margin in black.
9.9.
Yeah. Dunstan's 0.8. It's the most marginal.
I was going to ask you about Dunstan because we had Anna Finizio, the Liberal candidate, on before. She can talk. Imagine being door knocked by her. She's probably door knocking 3 houses a day if she talks to all the constituents.
Anyway, you need remember the latest poll was 66% two-party preferred to Labor. Okay, I'm looking at this and well, let's be generous. Let's go crazy and bring it back to 56%. What if the next election Labor gets 56 and not 66? Let's be conservative here. Even on 56, the Liberals would be wiped out. Every city seat would be wiped out, including Jack Batty's seat of Bragg, which is on 5.6.
Tarsi's
a margin.
Gone on that.
So that'd be,
Hartley's gone.
Yeah.
Morialta's gone. Unley's gone.
They've all gone on that.
Colton's gone.
Yep. On 56, there won't be a city seat left on that. The Libs need to win. They've got 13 seats. They need to hold all those. They need to win 6 ALP seats, and that means they'd need a swing of 1, 2, 3, 4. They'd need a swing of nearly 5.5%, 6%. So they would need to flip the current 66% to Labor around to 56% to the Liberal
to form government.
Plus, and they'd need all 5 independents.
So they need to win back all those country seats. They need to beat Fraser Ellis.
Yeah.
They need to take Mount Gambier back from putatively Troy Bell's hands.
They'd need Stuart.
Yeah.
Jeff Brock.
Carvel.
Nick McBride. Who knows where they'll be come March. So
Nick McBride.
So that's a challenge. It's incredible when you look at it.
That's 10% worth than the latest polling data we've got. That's
right.
staggering.
Things will change seat by seat. I mean, I think perhaps there'll be an algal bloom factor in coastal seats. Who knows what black is like? Who knows what Colton's like?
Colton's interesting on that front.
Yeah. Algal seats and regional seats are the hope for the Libs. But really, what you've just read out, Matt, and your impeccable pendulum work there shows that the devastating part of the last Labor victory for the Libs was not just that they lost those seats, it was how much they lost them by.
So if it was 66, how many seats do they have at the next election?
Oh,
if that's correct, the polling was correct.
They'd have let's say 66. They'd have one. Well, on this, they'd have Chafee, Tim Whetstone.
He's been in the news.
That'd give him something to repost. We love you, Tim.
Awkward silence.
10 to 8. On that note, we might take a break. We're going to rate some spin in just a moment. You might not be aware of our new in-house AI band, Matt. Sometimes they get inspired by the conversation that's happening. And this morning, the Chatterboxes will take us to the break with a little song about the song they call No Room on the Ramp.
Dreams of open water caught underneath. We're all chasing fish while the algae spreads. No room on the ramp, just what lies ahead.
Bye, darling. I love you.
Goodbye, mate.
Bye, Dad.
At Centennial Park, we understand the life-changing experience of saying goodbye to a loved one. Whether their preference was burial or cremation, our memorial options are designed to help you reflect on, reconnect with, and remember your loved one. And most importantly, ensure your goodbyes aren't final. Find out about our memorial options at centennialpark.org.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
If you've been thinking it might be time to replace that tired old laptop or finally get the kids one of their own, Harvey Norman's tech run-out clearance is well worth a look. There's the Acer Aspire Lite 15 with a 15.6-inch Full HD screen, reliable Intel Celeron processor with a 128-gig SSD, and right now it's on sale for just $348. You'll save $120. If you want something a bit smarter, the Acer Aspire GoSpin 14 is a 2-in-1 computer. It switches between laptop, tablet or tent mode for sharing photos or watching together. This powerful Windows 11 computer with touchscreen is now only $748 from Harvey Norman.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
Mawson Lakes Volkswagen has a problem. Too many Volkswagens, not enough space. Yep, they're overstocked, and that's very good news for you, because every demo is priced to clear, like right now. Their solution? A huge demo clearance with hot prices. But that's not all. They're offering immediate delivery and finance so easy, you'll wonder why you didn't do this sooner. But don't wait. These demo Volkswagens won't sit around for long. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
7 to 8, Matt Abraham in the studio with us. Time to rate some spin.
Matt. Now, I was going to play music because I noticed the big boring machine that has arrived, which is like the second coming. The Premier put it up and had the soundtrack of Jurassic Park on his video, and I thought, but isn't Jurassic Park where, you know, these big things come alive and start wreaking havoc and destroy the joint? Is that an appropriate piece of music? But that...
Sounds like some Japanese disaster film. The South Road boring machine suddenly merges with AI and starts smashing up neighbouring suburbs.
Exactly. But anyway, no, I can't not use this piece. This is Milton Dick, the delightfully named Speaker of the House of Reps, who's actually a great speaker in Canberra, trying to bring the House to order.
I don't know why this is so difficult. When people are asking questions, don't interject. There's a lot of intelligent people here. Well, in the gallery there is. Order.
Did someone yell out in the background when he said lots of intelligent people? Point of order, Mr. Speaker. That was fantastic.
It would have been nice though, being a tourist that day if you were there in Canberra having a visit, taking the kids along. And you're in the gallery, and you see that happen, you'd remember that, wouldn't you?
Exactly. And it was one of those rare moments when both sides of the House agreed that there's not a lot of intelligence alive there. Rare bipartisan moment. So for Speaker Milton Dick, he gets a big 9 out of 10. Matt. Now, speaking of dicks, on a related matter, and I do thank Nicole Flint for posting this. That was childish. I apologise. This is a Senate hearing of the Legal and Constitutional Affairs Legislation Committee in Senate estimates, and Liberal Senator Claire Chandler is quizzing our Sex Discrimination Commissioner, Dr. Anna Cody, PhD, who's a brilliant person academically and who had a great definition, very widespread definition of what constitutes a woman, but less so when it came to what constitutes a man.
Did you mean that biological males can be women?
Men. So I think that we have different language that perhaps you're using than I would use. So I don't understand the term biological men.
Right. This might be a short tranche of questions then.
It's not that complicated, is it?
I wouldn't have thought so. Not really, but apparently. Anyway.
It actually makes your speaking of throw even funnier when I go back to...
Giving Dr. Anna Cody 5 out of 10. Matt.
How long did you put up with the Canberra Press Gallery for, Matt? How long were you there? Couple of years?
Yeah, I was there a couple of years. I went from the old Parliament House to the new Parliament House.
So you were there post-bicentennial when the new Parliament...
Yeah.
So you worked in the old Parliament House?
I worked in the old Parliament House, yeah. That's how old I am.
So Hawke was PM then?
Yes, Hawke was PM. And sitting next to a guy called Barry Prismal, who was a total chain smoker. So... and I wasn't a smoker. We're in a little gallery that was tacked on, like it was made out of cardboard, I think, on the back of the old Parliament House. And Barry would keep smoking while he was typing, and every now and then, like about every hour, he'd just tip his keyboard upside down and tap the ash out of it.
All the Craven A residue.
That all stopped in the new Parliament House, fortunately, yeah.
Did it?
Well, it did. Obviously not in your bureau.
A lot of paper coffee cups filled with water in the Senate side. No, the reason I was just thinking before, the exciting news that today Murray Watt is addressing the National Press Club, where you can turn up, get some stodgy food, and then you're held captive for an hour listening to one of the world's most boring speeches.
Yep.
Was that the sort of thing that made you want to not stay there? Because with me, I just thought, this is everything about this place is just so stifling and ritualised.
Well, there are a couple of things. One was Piers Ackerman became editor of the Advertiser. That probably hastened my move out of the Advertiser, mutually, I think.
Would you have a typewriter thrown at you? Just joke, Piers.
Just a joke. No, and I also felt like a fraud in the Canberra Press Gallery, so I just didn't think I was very good at it. So I was happy to.
I think that's a good sign that the moment you think you're going all right, you're probably not. So that's a good sign for you.
Yeah, I wasn't a great federal political reporter, totally out of my depth, and spooked by people like
you would have been all over
it. Spooked like people like Michelle Grattan, who's just.
Well, it's true about seeing people like that. I can remember at a press conference, Laurie Oakes hardly ever went to press conferences, and there was one press conference he just walked in. It was like some scene in a Western where everyone went, Laurie's here. And he just tore. I think he might have been Amanda Vanstone. He really did a number on it when she was Education Minister. He had all the HECS increases. He knew what they were.
Yeah,
someone had given it all to him. Anyway, crazy.
Great to have you in, Matt.
Good on you, Matt.
All right. Time for 5AA News, breaking date next.
If you don't hurry up, I swear to God.
Sir, I'm going as fast as I can.
You're not even trying. Healthcare, you don't care at all.
Sir.
You've seen everyone else before me. I'm sick of it. What about me, huh?
Sir, please don't touch me.
Well, do your goddamn job.
Abusive and violent behaviour against healthcare workers is on the rise.
Back off. Don't touch
But abuse shouldn't be part of the job. Look after those who look after us. A message from the Government of South Australia.
Here at 5AA, we're all about supporting local. Need help navigating the changes to support at home? ECH has been caring for ageing South Australians for over 60 years. Just ask ECH.
Up-to-the-minute news for South Australia. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
A shower or two developing in 25 today with the 8 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Make RAA-approved windscreen repairer, Complete Windscreens, your insurer repairer of choice. Visit completewindscreens.com.au.
An early morning fight at Mawson Lakes is not believed to be a random incident. Police were called to the Mawson Lakes Hotel on Main Street just before 1 a.m. and 2 men were detained without incident. The 21-year-old from Mawson Lakes and a 20-year-old from Paraka have been taken to hospital for treatment of minor injuries. It's not believed to be random. Hundreds of public sector nurses and midwives will take part in a Stop Work rally today. It's in the wake of their ongoing push for better pay. The Nurses and Midwifery branch of SA say the government should value and respect the workforce. The executive has reviewed the latest pay offer and will present its recommendation to members at the rally. They'll converge on the steps of Parliament House at 1:30 this afternoon. Well, Hurricane Melissa is continuing to make her presence felt in the Caribbean, making landfall in Cuba. It arrived as a Category 3 and is now headed toward the Bahamas. Melissa has wiped out hospitals, housing and major infrastructure across Jamaica. It made landfall there as a Category 5. Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness says it's hard to comprehend the full extent of the damage.
It would only be after the passage of the hurricane and it is safe to conduct proper damage assessment that we will see the full picture. But the picture right now suggests that damage within the corridor of impact is significant.
The death toll in Haiti is 25. Gas projects that help shore up future supplies are eligible for government support. A new $17.5 million grants program has been announced. Eligible projects will be able to access grants of up to $2.5 million per project. Energy and Minister Tom Coutson-Tonis says there's a gas shortage in the country which impacts power prices.
The more gas that's available, the cheaper the prices are. The more gas, that means cheaper electricity prices. So we're doing what we can to try and shave off those peaks and get more gas into the system.
The opposition says it's good the Prime Minister and US President Trump have forged a closer relationship. The President has praised Anthony Albanese at a dinner between Asia-Pacific leaders in South Korea. It follows a $13 billion critical minerals deal between Australia and the US. National Senator Bridget McKenzie says it's now important to deliver on the agreement.
Get those environmental approvals going, move at warp speed to get the energy costs down so that we can start up the processing facilities required.
Now turning to 5AA's sport.
Gliderroll Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderroll.com.au.
And it's over to Tom Wren and everything cricket. What is happening with Steve Smith, Tom Wren?
Well, Mel, he has sent a very ominous warning to England ahead of the Ashes, racking up a century in the Shield clash with New South Wales at the Gabba. No such luck, though, for Sam Constas, who was dismissed for only 10. Former Test bowler Merv Hughes has told Channel 9's Today Show there's still hope, though, for Constas to hold on to his spot.
He's the incumbent. Let's not forget that. He's the incumbent, and we've got other guys knocking on the door. They're not really kicking it down.
Meantime, South Australia will begin day 3 of its Shield clash against Western Australia at none for 6 in its second innings, still trailing WA by 86 runs. Brendan Doggett took 6 wickets for the visitors. Last night, Australia's T20 clash against India in Canberra was washed out, and South Africa has won through to the Women's ODI World Cup final after smashing England by 125 runs. Australia plays against India in the other semi-final tonight. Well, 7 rule changes have been confirmed by the AFL to help speed up the game. One of the main ones that will be introduced is the last touch out of bounds between the 50-metre arcs, similar to what is seen currently in the Sandfall. The dates for next year's Supercars event in Adelaide have been announced. It will run from December 3rd to the 6th. This year's event will run from November 27 to the 30th. Australia has retained the Constellation Cup after a dramatic one-goal overtime win against New Zealand in Christchurch, but the result was soured by a last-second serious injury to defender Sunday Ariang. One game in the NBL overnight, the Perth Wildcats coming from behind to beat the Tassie Jack Jumpers 95-84. Liverpool's disastrous run of form looks set to continue. They're currently 2-0 down against Crystal Palace in their League Cup match with only a few minutes to play. Elsewhere, Arsenal's 2-0 up against Brighton. Chelsea leads Wolverhampton 3-2. Manchester City is 2-1 up against Swansea, while Newcastle leads Tottenham 2-0. And horse trainer Chris Waller won't be drawn on comparisons between Autumn Glow and the legendary Winx ahead of Saturday's Golden Eagle at Randwick. Autumn Glow is the favourite for the $10 million race. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Kilburn, still got really big delays with that truck v Stobie Behold today. Grand Junction Road at Prospect Road. Grand Junction Road is actually closed at the moment. Detour is in place. Delays are awful. Just avoid that this morning. Quite busy too at Flitters Park for the works on Grange Road and Holbrooks Road, and slowing up Brighton Road, Brighton. Camera, Trimmer Parade, Findon, and that is there right now. Stay across today's news with the Sky News Australia app. Read, watch or listen to keep updated however you prefer. Never miss breaking news. Download the Sky News Australia app today. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, a shower or two developing, heading for a top of 25 today, a possible early storm tomorrow 23. Saturday sunny 28, Sunday a shower or two 25. Right now it's 17 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Living with diabetes? Ditch finger pricks with Freestyle Libre. Freestyle Libre is a small wearable sensor that monitors your glucose levels and trends and sends them straight to your phone. Instant up-to-date feedback. No finger pricks. How good is that? And you can trial Freestyle Libre for only $15. Just head to freestylelibre.com.au to find out how. T's and C's apply. Follow directions for use. Read warnings before purchase. Free yourself from finger pricks with Freestyle Libre.
Every new Chevrolet Silverado now comes with a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty and 5-year roadside assist. The Chevrolet Silverado, brought to you by General Motors Specialty Vehicles. Live big, truck it. T's and C's apply. Visit gmspecialtyvehicles.com.
The news and issues that matter to South Australia. Always Adelaide. This is 5AA.
If today was your last day. There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
8 minutes after 8. You want to pass a comment on the musical choice?
Is that Nickelback?
I think it is.
Oh, dear.
Your favourites.
Oh, dear. No, we don't want more of it. Thank you, Pat. We want less of it.
All right. Well,
we want a whole lot less of that.
Don't encourage Pat. He'll get the chatterboxes playing out of every break at the moment. Well, I think you enjoyed their last song in the last hour, in-house AI band.
It's sort of like a computer-generated 5 Seconds of Summer or whatever they were called.
They do sound a bit like that,
what
don't
they were called? 5 Sauce? Yeah. 5 Seconds. Yeah.
What was their excellent song we just played called? No Room on the Ramp.
No Room on the Ramp. Catching the fish while the algae spreads.
Exactly right. They carry sometimes quite heavy messages, our in-house AI band.
They do.
Breaking 8 coming up in just a moment. Also this hour, we're going to be chatting with the Police Deputy Commissioner in Linda Williams about that remarkable day in policing yesterday in South Australia.
Amazing.
55 arrests made. 55 in connection with the use of the Anom app. A whole heap of those went through court yesterday, so we learned a little bit about what they're charged with and their identities. More today. It'll be a big day in court today, so we'll learn more about that very, very shortly. And then after 8:30 today, we're going to talk more about the 9th Avenue Christmas lights and also a shift that'll mean ADHD can be diagnosed and managed by your GP. That's all ahead, but first, breaking 8.
Well, the member for Mayo, Rebecca Sharkey, independent member for Mayo up in the Adelaide Hills, has been doing a terrific job prosecuting the case about the many failures and delays with the government's My Aged Care scheme. thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of older Australians still waiting for care. Well, yesterday in federal parliament, she asked this question.
My question is to the Minister for Aged Care and Seniors. Fred is a full pensioner with a Level 3 home care package. Today, his package covers his needs to stay home. Fred's been advised once support at home starts this Saturday, he will pay $21.87 out of pocket for each hour of cleaning, gardening and meal preparation. Fred can't afford this and says he'll be forced to cancel his care package. Can the Minister explain how Fred, not being able to afford home care, is putting the care into aged care?
I thank the member for her question and I acknowledge her genuine interest in ensuring that every older person in her community can access safe, dignified and high-quality aged care services. I'm not familiar with the particular circumstances of Fred, but we'll be happy to take advice after question time from the member and follow up on his personal circumstances. However, I can provide some more general information to the member and to the House about co-contribution.
So that second voice that you heard there is the Honourable Sam Ray, who is the new Minister for Ageing in the federal government. We have got Rebecca Sharkey on the line now. We'd rather talk to her than hear the remainder of that answer, which was a whole heap of dot points. Rebecca, good morning. And
good morning.
Thanks for joining us. This gentleman, Fred, who you referred to, I presume he's a South Australian fellow. Does this expose the issue with some of the sort of means testing elements that now exist in terms of accessing my aged care?
It does. So if you can give me a couple of minutes to explain. On the 1st of November, we're going to have a new aged care system. What we're also going to have is a lot of providers, from what we can see, have increased their fees exponentially. I've got one set of figures in front of me where home care today is going to increase by 100% for personal care, 75% for domestic care. I've got another provider who their price list on the 1st of August had $87 an hour for care, and that's going up to $119 on Saturday. And people are in two groups. So if you currently receive a home care package and you were on the wait list, the priority wait list last September, on the 12th of September, that was, the guillotine days, you are going to be under a no worse off package. But actually it's not no worse off, because those price increases are so large that people's purchasing power is really diminished in their package. And another case we've got is a person who's on a level 2 package, so that's sort of, down the lower end at the moment. They're able to get some domestic assistance with that, some personal care, around 3.5 hours. But they were also at that time receiving a little bit of gardening and some topping up with meals, some Webster packing, a call monitoring device and continence aids. They're under the old system. They're going to lose all those extras, and they've been told they're going to have a shortfall of $1,400 in their package that they're going to have to find.
So it's like a gap payment almost.
Hours. Yes. So they're either going to have to do less, because the government does say for those older, people who have been in the system for some time, that they're going to be no worse off. But they actually will be worse off, because they're not going to be able to get as much support as what they're getting today as they're going to get on the 1st of November. Then we've got the people who, unfortunately, like Fred and like many people, got a package or applied for a package after last September because they were in such great need. They've been able to get that package because, as we know, the wait list has been up to 12 months. Now, for those people, if you are a self-funded retiree, you're going to be charged 80% co-contribution, even if you've got a package for cleaning. And that helps. Now,
80% co-contribution. So when you talk about something now costing like $119 an hour, that would mean you'd be pretty much up for roughly $100 an hour.
Yes. Now that also goes for part pensioners. They're anywhere from 17.5% to 80%, and that's where Fred falls into that category. And look, I understand that they've got to pay, the people that come and do the work, but I'm not sure how a part pensioner or a self-funded retiree is going to be able to afford just a shower on the weekend. Because a weekend shower at an hourly rate is going to be $202 just with one provider I've seen, and on a public holiday over $337. So we're going to, I think we're moving to a system that's going to mean that many people are going to go without. And Fred said, look, I just can't afford these co-contributions. I might as well, I can't have the help. And therefore, as I said, people are divided into two groups. The government says that they're going to cap what these fees are, but they're not going to do that until next July. So right now, it's providers are charging, whatever they want. And, I mean, I just can't see how any organisation can justify a 100% increase,
no,
75% increase on domestic assistance, or indeed another one, a very, very well-known South Australian provider. I've got their list in front of me. They're going up by 40%. I might just say we've tried to call many of these providers to get their price list, and they're not willing to share them at all. But what I would say to
do you reckon some of them might be gouging because they know it's government? It's a government scheme in the same way that this happened with the NDIS?
Well, it's hard to understand how you could charge $202 an hour on a weekend for someone to come into the home and help with some meal preparation. Help
crikey,
with
you might as well go to the Botanic for dinner.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. You might as well, get Uber from the Hilton. It's madness. It really is. And I think that it's a false economy, though, isn't it? Because ultimately, if people become malnourished, if they are unable to wash, if they fall down because they're trying to do gardening themselves and they break a hip, if they trip over things in the home or the home's, in squalor because they can't clean, ultimately people become very sick and then they end up in the hospital system. So it is a false economy and it's not where people want to be. And what I would say to people is this: if you are listening to this, please don't despair. Do a couple of things. Get your new price list and go and see your federal member. Give them a call, demand a meeting with them or one of their staff and show them what your experience is going to be, because we need more than just me in this place to be jumping up and down on this.
Yeah.
You can also, if you are on a part pension, you can apply through Centrelink. Again, get your federal member to help you with this for hardship provision. I did have a lady who emailed me yesterday. She said, thank you for bringing up aged care in Parliament. Please keep on asking. It's a disaster. I'm also waiting for aged care help as I broke my ankle and I live alone with no one to support. They will have an avalanche of hardship forms to process if everyone I know in my groups can't afford what they're adding. Please keep on trying.
Well, we'll stay in touch with you on this issue, Rebecca, and as we're talking, getting texts like this one, my mum had a package, level 3. She's now in a nursing home. She hired a private cleaner as it was cheaper than going through my aged care. You're doing great work on this, Rebecca. We'll stay in touch. It might be one for the paper soon again as well. Rebecca Sharkey joining us for Breaking at 8.
Yeah, lots of good texts talking about the work Rebecca Sharkey's doing. Rob says, as someone working in the sector, I'm staggered that this has not gained any traction.
It's an amazing
over the
story.
past few months.
And it is an NDIS. Like, who are you from? The government? Okay, it's $202. $202 an hour for food preparation. $202 would get you probably 7 curries and 4 entrees from Rajon Taj with garlic naan and raita as well. Like, you would be set for a week's worth of curries.
Once you get to the $200 an hour fee structure, you're talking about partners. That's the structure of like partners at major engineering and law firms and things.
Yeah, I know.
How is that possibly justifiable? It's not. Clearly, it's a rort. Just a bit of news around the country before we go to a break. In this 8 o'clock hour, a couple of things you might like to be aware of. One of them is quite a tragic story out of Victoria. A 17-year-old cricketer has died in hospital.
God, that kid.
He was struck in the nets facing a bowling machine.
He's wearing a helmet, but it hit him on the neck.
Yeah, it feels very much like a Phil Hughes-esque story.
That poor family.
The Ferntree Gully Cricket Club has said they're obviously devastated by the death of the boy. That's just an awful story that's just developed in the last 15 minutes out of the country's east. The other thing that our South Australian listeners might be interested in is our man Phil Curry has written a piece in the Fin Review this morning. We know a lot of people that are going to Brazil for climate-related conferences.
They leave today.
One of them that's not. the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese. Phil Curry writes, is unlikely to head to the Global Climate Change Summit in Brazil that's in just over a week. He says it's likely, it indicates that there's a view nationally that COP will not be coming to Adelaide next year.
Well, this is why it's even more important that ratepayers chip in so that the mayor of Onkaparinga and Mitcham and Adelaide can go there to try to talk them around, isn't it?
Someone's got to do it, and might as well be local government. Let's check traffic. Get an outfit that will stop traffic at a great price with Peter Shearer Menswear.
Morning there at Kilburn. Still got massive delays with that truck v Dobie Pole, Grand Junction Road at Prospect Road. Grand Junction Road actually closed between Prospect and Churchill Roads. Detours in place. Just avoid that if you can this morning. Super busy at Flinders Park, Grange Road and Holbrooks Road intersection upgrade, and quite slow Brighton Road, Glenelg East. Camera this morning, Trimmer Parade Findon. That is there right now. Just look for the big van on the side of the road with funny windows. Are you one of Australia's safest drivers? Test your safe driving skills now with the Amy app. T's and C's apply. Lucky you're with Amy. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
If I say the word sport, are you thinking ball or bet?
Favourites and some great odds for you to get.
If gambling's never far from your thoughts, or you're often looking forward to your next bet, you could be showing the early signs of gambling harm. But if you spot the harm, you can stop the harm. Visit gamblingharmsupport.sa.gov.au. A message from the Government of South Australia.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
If you've been thinking it might be time to replace that tired old laptop or finally get the kids one of their own, Harvey Norman's tech run-out clearance is well worth a look. There's the Acer Aspire Lite 15 with a 15.6-inch Full HD screen, reliable Intel Celeron processor with a 128-gig SSD, and right now it's on sale for just $348. You'll save $120. If you want something a bit smarter, the Acer Aspire GoSpin 14 is a 2-in-1 computer. It switches between laptop, tablet or tent mode for sharing photos or watching together. This powerful Windows 11 computer with touchscreen is now only $748 from Harvey Norman.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
Is stress clouding your mind, making it hard to focus? Caruso's Ashwagandha Plus L-theanine to the rescue. Caruso's Ashwagandha Plus L-theanine is a great combination to relieve stress, calm the mind and support mental clarity, concentration and focus. And it works fast, calming the mind in just 3 hours without drowsiness. So if you're fed up with feeling stressed and unable to concentrate, try Caruso's Ashwagandha Plus L-theanine today. Now available from leading pharmacies and health stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
Hi, Daniel Talley here, General Manager of Home. That's HAUME. Put simply, we buy homes. We don't charge fees, there's no advertising costs or commissions, none of that. We just make the process of selling your home easy. So if you're looking to downsize and have a home built before the 90s, we'll be able to help you save time, money and the effort it takes to sell. Thinking of downsizing? Visit home.com.au. That's HAUME.com.au.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
23 after 8, it was a record-breaking day for SAPOL yesterday. Arrests made in connection with the use of an encrypted messaging app, Anom, led to the arrest of 55 people. It wasn't just the individuals. There was $25.8 million worth of assets seized. 300 officers carried it out. People have wondered whether it might be the biggest day of arrests in the history of SAPOL. Operation Ironside has been clearly, to this point, a big success. Obviously, this all needs to go through the court. That process started yesterday and will continue today. Linda Williams, the Deputy Commissioner of SAPOL, joins us now on 5AA Breakfast. Deputy Commissioner, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Deputy Commissioner, this is an extraordinary number. Can you recall a day that eclipses this in your policing career?
No, I can't. This was a significant effort yesterday. As you said, 55 individuals were arrested that we allege were involved in, very serious and organised crime across the state. In the time I've been in SAPOL, I don't recall anything this significant in terms of mass arrests.
And the number of police that were involved, it must have taken a lot of planning.
It was close to 300 people involved from various areas across SAPOL. It was a massive logistical exercise, and all credit to the people in serious and organised crime who brought this together. A lot of planning. I know they were putting in long hours. Yesterday was very tiring, but also a very good outcome. So we're and our whole team are pleased with that outcome. We've made a significant dent in the criminal activity in South Australia by taking 55 individuals off the streets.
And just in terms of the role of the so-called Anom app, so it's an encrypted messaging app similar to like WhatsApp, I guess, and it was invented by the AFP and the FBI and then sent to these criminals about 5 years ago when the first raids happened. Can I ask, Linda Williams, is the thing legally watertight? Because I saw that there was some lawyer arcing up about whether it was entrapment or there was some court case, wasn't there, a few years ago about it?
Yeah, so what happened was initially we did the 2021 arrests. Then there was the first challenge in about December 22 to our Supreme Court by the defendants in that case. We won. Then it was appealed to the SA Court of Appeal. We won again. Then it was sent to the High Court. They sought an ex officio test case. That's fine. Went to the High Court and that went there in 2024. It was settled by the High Court on the 8th of October, which affirms the use of the Anon platform by the Ironside investigators was lawful, and that paved the way for the resolution that you saw yesterday in Operation Ironside 3.0. So we're really comfortable that when the High Court unanimously says it was lawful, we feel very confident.
Yeah. You said the word resolution there, but also 3.0. Is there potentially more arrests to come and a maybe a 4.0?
I don't think there'll be anything at the scale of a 4.0, but there'll be some more arrests, but certainly not at the tempo we've seen. We've in the intervening period since the first arrest in 21, we've been meticulous in going through about 2.5 million encrypted messages. Then we go through the painstaking and laborious process of attributing those to individuals and attributing the evidence to them in a way that we're hopeful will be sustained through the court process with successful prosecution. So the bulk of that work's been done. Now we're probably just looking for a few other individuals and we'll mop them up in the coming weeks and days.
And SAPOL's suspicion, and SAPOL will be making the case, Deputy Commissioner, that overwhelmingly all of these crimes largely look like bikie-related, gang-related activity going to drugs. Yeah,
they're organised crime. This is what you see, the networks. They're involved in drug manufacture, money laundering, drug trafficking. These are the people making a lot of money out of feeding people drugs and making them addicted. And this is what we see playing it out in our community with people who are addicted to drugs, and then everyone else who becomes victims of that in their own way, whether it's being a victim of the crime of other people or just the behaviours or families who are shattered by, having loved ones turn to drug addiction.
Yeah, 100%. Always love catching up with you, Deputy Commissioner Linda Williams from SAPOL.
I'm not sure if this text is from an old police officer. It sounds like it, but the person says, "Dear Dave and I will, one night at the Overway Hotel in Hindley Street and 49 were arrested following a riot, so Ironside beats us by a bit." Not mentioning all the prior Ironside arrests. That sounds like quite a night at the Overway Hotel.
So the Overway is the one on the corner of Morfett Street and Hindley Street. I can remember as a kid being terrified of that pub. That was notorious.
49 arrested.
What's that pub called now? Oh,
is it the Rosemont?
Yeah.
The Rosemont, the sports bar.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a much more genteel operation these days.
All right, we're going to take a break. 5AA News on the way.
At Coles, there's great half-price chocky this Halloween, like Cadbury Share Pack 120 to 180 grams and Mars Chocolate Fun Size 132 to 192 grams. Now just $3.50. Shop in store or online at Coles. Offer ends Tuesday.
Adelaide's local, trusted and truly connected talkback radio station. 5AA. Always Adelaide.
I'm hot! The Excelsior Hotel has always felt like home. And for seniors, it's always been great value with 20% discount on selected bistro meals. Yep, 20% off. Feeding the whole family? Bring them all Saturday or Sunday for live acoustic music from 5 p.m. And kids eat free. Some conditions apply. The Excelsior Hotel feels like home, but better. You just know it's a Barreau Hotel.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
A shower or two developing in 25 today with the 8:30 news. I'm Mel Usher.
For the best price, quality and same-day service, trust Complete Windscreens. RAA approved, Main North Road, Prospect.
2 men have been taken to hospital after a brawl at the Mawson Lakes Hotel. Just before 1 this morning, police were called to Main Street. Senior Constable Daniel Isaacs has told David and Will patrols responded quickly.
Managing to detain both men without incident, a 21-year-old from Mawson Lakes and a 20-year-old from Paraka. Both men have been taken to hospital for treatment for minor injuries, and it's not believed to be random, as we reckon these two are known to each other.
Public sector nurses and midwives will converge on the steps of Parliament House this afternoon. Their Stop Work rally is over better pay and respect. They say their role in delivering frontline care is not properly recognised. The executive has reviewed the latest offer and will present its recommendation at the rally. The Albanese government is pushing for new environment laws to pass by the end of this year. Legislation will be introduced into federal parliament, streamlining the approval process for mining, energy and housing developments. The business sector has expressed some concern, but is urging the opposition to get on board. Environment Minister Murray Watt says the reform strikes the right balance for the economy and nature.
I've always said that we're open to passing this bill with the support of either the Coalition or the Greens. If either side sets ridiculous demands for us, then we've got another option to pass these laws. My purpose in this is to pass these laws as quickly as we can.
There are calls to simplify the super system to help Australians transition into retirement. Super Members Council modelling has found complexities are costing the typical new retiree up to $136,000 in their post-work life. Chief Executive Misha Schubert says we need action as we're facing a silver tsunami.
2.8 million Australians are going to be racing towards retirement over the next decade. To give you a sense of the scale of that, that will be doubling the number of Australians who newly retire each year.
Former US Vice President Kamala Harris has admitted it was reckless not to have opposed Joe Biden's decision to run for office again. Ms Harris tried to steer the conversation toward US President Donald Trump during an Australian interview. However, the ABC's Sarah Ferguson pressed her on her role as Vice President throughout the Biden campaign.
It is not the question that I asked you, which is about Joe Biden's failure to recognise his own frailties and what that did to you. The question is about Joe Biden. Are you still reluctant to criticise the former president?
In what regard, please?
Well, just in terms of that question. So you went
What exactly would you like to ask?
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
It's over to Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Port Adelaide ruckman Ivan Soldo says he feels like he's primed to challenge for the number one ruck role following a tough year in 2025. The 29-year-old's only played 9 games in 2 seasons at Alberton, but he's told 9 News he's overcome his niggling issues with his body and feels like he's ready for a big 2026.
I reflect on the pre-season and off-season I had last year, and it was quite interrupted coming off an injury halfway through the season. This pre-season, off-season, we've been training every day, flat stick, and feeling really good about next season.
Meantime, Victorian Police have confirmed they've charged Dion Prestia and Stephen May after an incident that occurred in Sorrento in 2024 at a pub on Boxing Day. 2 men were taken to hospital following the alleged incident. To cricket, and Australia's first T20 match against India has been washed out in Canberra. Game 2 will be played in Melbourne tomorrow. Meantime, South Aussie quick Brendan Doggett has starred on day 2 of the Shield clash against Western Australia at the WACA. He took 6 for 48 to help the visitors back into the contest. With Aussie captain Pat Cummins still recovering from a back injury, there has been talk about Doggett potentially playing a role in the Ashes series, but he says he's not buying into that too much.
There has been a little bit of noise, but trying not to think about it. And, I just want to keep playing for South Australia and
and keep putting good performances together. I think, that's all I can control at the moment.
Australia has beaten New Zealand in an extra time to reclaim netball's Constellation Cup. The Diamonds lost Game 4 in Christchurch before winning a tiebreaker by a single goal. Captain Liz Watson telling Fox Sports it was a thrilling end to the series.
To get the win's awesome. It's just a weird format to play that extra 14 minutes, to be honest. But look, everyone had a great series and we're really proud to be able to finish with the cup.
Briefly elsewhere, Liverpool's season's in total free fall after another horrible performance at home, losing its League Cup clash against Crystal Palace 3-0. And Aussie Alex de Minaur's match at the Paris Masters gone into a deciding set after Canada's Gabriel Diallo won the second set 6-4. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Kilburn, a truck v Stobie Pole, Grand Junction Road at Prospect Road. Grand Junction Road closed between Prospect and Churchill Road. Detour was in place, awful delays, just avoid that this morning. Car motorcycle crash to look out for at Prospect. This one's Regency Road at Prospect Road. Big delays through there as well. And look out for works at Flinders Park, which also super slow this morning, Grange Road and Holbrooks Road. Camera, Almaterra season. Get half price off Blackmores for 1 week only right now at Chemist Warehouse. Be quick. Sale ends November 12. Excludes bulk sizes. Chemist Warehouse. Great savings every day. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, a shower or two developing for your Thursday, 25. A possible early storm tomorrow, 23. Then the weekend, Saturday sunny, 28. Sunday a shower or two, 25. Right now it's 17 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Here at 5AA, we're all about supporting local. Need help navigating the changes to support at home? ECH has been caring for ageing South Australians for over 60 years. Just ask ECH.
If there's one time in your life you want to feel confident, it's your wedding day. And the best way to feel confident is to be fitted by Peter Shearer Menswear. For over 50 years, Peter Shearer has been helping men tie the knot in style. Whether it's a classic tuxedo, a formal suit, or a sport coat, Peter Shearer will make sure you and your outfit are a match made in heaven. If you're planning the big day, hire or buy from Peter Shearer Menswear and be fitted with confidence.
At Harvey Norman, buy now with no deposit, 15 months interest free on a participating Latitude credit card and get a bonus gift card up to $1,000. Furniture, bedding, TVs, fridges, computers and more. Shop with no deposit, 50 months interest free from Latitude Financial Services and get a bonus $100 gift card for every $1,000 you spend. Monthly credit card fee currently $10.95 applies. New customers must be approved. Minimum finance $750. Equal monthly payment plan, T's and C's, charges and exclusions. Don't miss no deposit, 15 months interest free from Latitude at Harvey Norman now.
The 2025 NAB AFLW season is on. This is your front row seat to the action. Tickets are just $15 and under 18s go free. So what are you waiting for? Visit women's.afl and get your tickets today.
It's 2025 and we've never been more connected. So why do so many of us find it hard to actually check in with loved ones? This Mental Health Awareness Month, your local health insurer, Health Partners, has teamed up with Breakthrough Foundation to create Choose Your Check-In, a free online guide to help you start conversations that matter and keep them going. Visit healthpartners.com.au/chooseyourcheckin. Brought to you by Health Partners. Health insurance made human.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
22 minutes to 9, still getting a massive response to Breaking at 8 this morning. Geraldine on the Police Home Care text line has a story of her own, and they all sound a bit like this. Geraldine says, my healthcare provider already puts an extra $50 on top of the cleaner. 2 hours, $100 an hour, and the provider keeps that money. Gardening, 1 hour, there's an extra $50 the provider keeps. Now some of the providers advertise on TV and radio using money from the package. Not mine. I'm a full-time pensioner, and they get kickbacks from buying equipment from certain businesses. It all sniffs NDIS-y.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? And you wonder why governments are spending so much money. It's you know, they create these things, and then the private sector gets involved, and people obviously are trying to make a quid. I was just texting back and forth with a very old friend who was talking about her late parents. They were paying through my aged care for food preparation. Well, they thought they were paying for food preparation. They were paying for someone to come round and basically heat up food for their parents. They're very elderly.
Heated up.
Heated up. They didn't provide the food. They didn't cook the food. They just heated up. So, the idea you're paying hundreds of dollars an hour for someone to use your microwave is remarkable.
Just staggering, isn't it? Staggering. Rebecca Sharkey's on it. If you've got a story, she's the one to contact, or us. It'll get to her that way too. A story we've been following this morning as we get closer to the Christmas season. You might raise an eyebrow at that, but it's the 30th of October today. As of this weekend, it's going to be November, and the countdown will be well and truly on to Christmas, and people will be starting to put up their decorations for the year. Perhaps few more enthusiastically than the residents of 9th Avenue at St Peter's, one of the great lights displays around Adelaide. We mentioned earlier some of the others, like Pelham Street, the wonderful one in Flinders Park on my side of town. Lobethal, of course, have been the high watermark of this for a long time. Well, the 9th Avenue lights have some opponents, clearly, who have contacted Council, and Council's published a 70-page report requesting those who participate to consider reducing the length of the event, switch off their lights earlier, and rejecting any permits for food trucks and vendors. The council's also going to write to participants requesting they become an incorporated body. That's according to the Tiser this morning. The Mayor of the Norwood, Payneham and St Peters area is Robert Breer, who joins us on the line now. Mayor, good morning to you.
Good morning, Will, and good morning, David.
So, Mayor, it sounds like we were asking before when we had Anna Finizio on, the Liberal candidate for Dunstan. Is this a question of council overreach, or rather is it council feeling duty-bound to respond to the handful of people who've complained about it?
Well, I think it's the latter, David, but it's not about being duty-bound to respond to those people. I think it's being duty-bound to respond to genuine public safety issues that have been raised by residents, but also by the police. This is a community-led event, as the Advertiser article correctly states. So council has no formal role in this event, but given that the event has grown significantly over the last 20 years, it's got to the point where there are serious traffic issues that the council can no longer ignore, and therefore we've entered into this space. We haven't wanted to because we've let the event grow organically, but we're now at a point where we're spending this year $63,000 of ratepayers' money in traffic management. Only 2 years ago, it was only a handful of $1,000 on signage and extra bins. So we've sort of been put in a position where we cannot ignore the genuine public safety issues that have been raised.
But can I jump in, though? Because, Mayor, it sounds like I can just imagine the sort of person who's complained about Christmas lights. Like, what has someone been crushed by an ice cream truck? Does it look like Jakarta in peak hour? Like, how bad? How truly bad is it?
David, it can get very bad. I mean, I live 5 minutes drive from there, and my children were younger. I used to take them all the time. The traffic report talks about 3,000 pedestrians on Christmas Eve, up to 2,400 vehicle movements, people spilling it onto the street 6 deep. So it is a genuine concern.
I just wonder. It feels like a squeaky wheeler story, and I get what you're saying, Mayor, that it's a community event, not a council event. And I do get that you've got a role to play about public safety and so forth. But I see a scene like that, people 6 deep, thousands of people, and think, great, like that's exactly what being part of a community is about. It's not cause for alarm. It's not a ring the cops type scenario, is it?
Well, six deep is great. 10 deep is great. But we're talking about an event that faces a local public road, David, where vehicles can travel while an event is going on.
Hey, Mayor, how many people have been injured at the lights?
None, but I've seen footage, Dave, Will, of some very, very silly driver behaviour, which is why the police have suggested to us and fully support the council in banning right-hand turns coming in and out of 9th Avenue into Stevens Terrace. But I think, I think some of the people that have raised concerns, they're not necessarily opposed to the lights. What they're raising is genuine concerns about people parking in front of driveways and, doing all sorts of silly behaviours. So they're not saying lights, fantastic. We don't want to ruin people's enjoyment of coming down the avenue and enjoying what is a magnificent light display. But what they're saying is, if I'm a nurse and I want to and I'm starting a night shift or coming back from a night shift, or I'm an emergency services worker, I don't want to see a car parked in front of my driveway because I can't get in or out of my own property.
Traffic management and safety is one thing, but then why write to the participants and say the event should run for a shorter period and the light should be switched off sooner?
Well, we're not saying it should. Council has no authority to instruct the residents to do anything. And in fact, the event can actually grow bigger if it likes. We don't have any authority to tell the residents what to do. All we've said is, in the interest of being neighbourly, maybe turn off your lights at 11:30 instead of midnight. But at the end of the day, the residents can say, up your clacker, council, and they're perfectly within their rights to do that. They are purely suggestions for consideration in the interest of finding a balance, given that the event goes for a month. It's not just a night or two. So it's about trying to find that balance between public safety, public amenity, the enjoyment of residents who live in the street. It's not an easy task. We certainly want people to enjoy themselves, have a great time, come down, but just be conscious that residents do live there. They do have lives. They may work different shifts, and it's just about finding a nice balance to accommodate all parties.
Mayor of Norwood, Payneham and St Peters, Robert Breer, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
I reckon we'll be making the trek there again this year. I take my daughter there. She absolutely loves it. It's a great display and the residents do a fantastic job.
I really wonder how many of the people who say they can't leave their driveway are upset about it because they're about to head off to the RA to do their shift as an ED nurse. I reckon they would be your dictionary definition passive-aggressive note writers who are the type of people who... we've got a couple of them in Wayville. During the show, they put witches' hats in front of their house. This is my space. My space. Like, seriously. I mean, they're probably people who, like, they don't need to use their driveway because they probably never go out and do anything. They're probably sitting there peering through their lace curtains going, look at all those children making a noise. Like... all the things to get worked up about. I just don't know why councils sort of feel so duty-bound to respond to people who, live in fear that someone somewhere is trying to have a good time.
Well, especially when it wasn't like this was an event foisted on the people of Ninth Avenue. Like, it's community-driven. It's good because the people who live there really enjoy doing it.
But seriously, this was the same council that and I've got to say, I like Robert Breer. I think he's a good mayor. He's been a long-standing mayor. Let's give him credit for he's not currently at the Adelaide airport either, about to fly to Rio de Janeiro. So he's got that going for him. But wasn't this the same council that years ago decided to shut down the diving board on the Norwood pool because they were worried that it was 2 centimetres too low and someone could die from head injuries?
It had been there since the 1930s and no one had been ever injured on it.
No one had died or ever been hurt, ever.
You can never be too careful.
That's right. It's like the ice cream truck.
Exactly.
How many more people have to not be injured or killed?
Let's go to Sapole. Senior Constable Holly Frisbee's on the line because there are some massive delays due to a truck crash this morning. Holly, what can you tell us?
Yeah, good morning, boys. We've got an update to the earlier reports of a crash on Grand Junction Road, Kilburn. So we have contraflows in place on Grand Junction Road due to significant delays and speed restrictions. And these are going to be in place for most of the day due to heavy machinery being brought in to assist with the repairs to the Stobie pole that was damaged during that earlier collision. So we are asking all road users to avoid the area where possible and just to be patient because works are going to be continuing there for majority of the day.
Good advice, Holly. Thank you for that. Senior Constable Holly Frisbee from Sapole.
All right, let's check traffic. Get an outfit that will stop traffic at a great price with Peter Shearer Menswear.
Kilburn still has awful delays with that truck and Stobie pole crash this morning. Grand Junction Road at Prospect Road. Grand Junction Road closed. D2 is in place. Delays are foul today. Just avoid it if you can. Prospect Car v Motorcycle. Regency Road at Prospect Road. Big delays there too. And a smash at Croydon just popped up. It's on the north-south motorway near Torrens Road. Early morning, camera 2, Trimmer Parade Findon. That is there right now. Get what you really want with the great drive-away deal on the Ford Transit Custom Trend Model Year 23.75 from 53K drive away. Recommended price at participating dealers. Offer ends December 31 or while stocks last. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Just Quality are your SA family-owned home improvement experts. Now's the time to get your home ready for summer in our big spring sale with free installation across a range of products, including outdoor blinds, roller shutters, plantation shutters, pergolas, artificial turf, decking and roof restorations. If you want the best quality, you want Just Quality home improvements. To take advantage of this limited time offer, book a free assessment on our website or
just dial 1300 813 813.
For over 12,000 South Australians, the most important meal of the day is from Meals on Wheels. Behind the meals and behind the wheels are our wonderful volunteers, like our drivers who deliver the delicious meals to our customers.
Amanda, hello.
If you love driving, we could do with you.
Smells delicious.
Become a volunteer today and help us keep the wheels turning.
See you tomorrow, Chris.
Visit mealsonwheelsa.org.au for details.
We've all had that dream. The one where your teeth fall out? Nobody really knows what it means. But we do know a trip to the dentist doesn't have to feel like a nightmare. At Burnside Dental Practice, we offer sleep dentistry. You'll experience comfortable care and a calming environment designed to ease dental anxiety. Whatever the procedure, say goodbye to fear and worry. You deserve great teeth. Book your next appointment with Burnside Dental Practice in Hazelwood Park. Visit burnsidedental.com.au.
The most frustrating thing about having your car repaired after a collision can be the wait. Sometimes months. At Premier Panel Services, the wait is one thing you won't have to worry about. We've expanded our workshop and our highly skilled team. It means we're better equipped to deliver an outstanding outcome for you and your car. RAA and MTA approved, Premier Panel Services work with most insurance companies. So ask for Premier Panel Services and get back on the road sooner.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Coming up to 8 minutes to 9, the state government announced yesterday a new approach to the diagnosis and treatment of ADHD in South Australia, with GPs now to play a larger role. Dr. Sian Goodson, the SA Chair of the Royal Australian College of GPs, joins us. Dr. Goodson, good morning to you.
Good morning, David and Will.
So how will this actually work, Dr. Goodson? What will the sort of, what's the rigour behind it if you're a parent and your child's having trouble concentrating? How do you tease out that it's not just sort of garden variety kids being kids and it is actually something that needs to be medicalised?
Yeah, good question. So we're really excited that GPs are going to play a bigger role in assessing and managing ADHD, because there's huge demand for assessments out there and really long waiting lists in our systems for children to see a paediatrician or for adults to pay to see a psychiatrist. So GPs are going to get some really good training. And the good thing in SA is we're collaborating with the College of Physicians who represent the paediatricians and the College of Psychiatrists. So in SA, the GPs that take this training will be actually educated by local psychiatrists and paediatricians and GPs who are already doing a lot of this work. So we've got a robust training program to ensure that GPs can confidently diagnose ADHD and also make sure it's not something else going on when they're assessing these children and these adults.
And equally, I would say, make sure it's not something of any note going on other than a child being a child and being a bit unruly at times.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly right. And there's very good guidelines now for diagnosing and managing ADHD, and there's lots of conditions that mimic it, and of course there's just normal behavioural things that can be similar to it. So it's a spectrum. And the other thing to be really clear about is the diagnosis of ADHD doesn't mean necessarily you need stimulant medication. There's other ways of managing some of these things.
Yeah,
so that's
sure.
important, and that's all part of the training as well that we'll be getting.
Because I think it is the kind of thing where, because there is a huge debate both publicly and from what I can glean, not that I'm a subscriber to the Lancet or anything, but the medical community too seems to be talking about, is it being overdiagnosed? Are there any fears that this could lead to an overdiagnosis of ADHD?
Well, we've got to be really careful that we follow the guidelines and we diagnose appropriately. But what we do see as GPs, and I've spoken to many paediatricians and psychiatrists now, is when you get that diagnosis right and when you treat that child or that adult, the effects are life-changing for those people. So children that are falling behind at school, struggling, who then get assessed and treated appropriately, suddenly find that they can concentrate at school, they can do their work, they can engage in their activities, and it is literally life-changing. So it's so important to get that diagnosis right and to treat the people that need it, because it makes a huge difference to people's lives.
Yeah, absolutely it does. Thank you for that. Dr. Sian Goodson, the SA Chair of the Royal Australian College of GPs.
To your point, the estimated figure at the moment for the number of Australians with ADHD, 1 in 20.
1 in 20?
1 in 20. It's not children.
All Australians?
All Australians, 1 in 20.
How were you when you were 6?
Yeah.
I think back to my childhood. For about a year, I would not leave the house, I'm serious, unless I had a 2-litre ice cream container on top of my head.
I believe it.
I'd get in the car, I'd say, Mum and Dad, I need my ice cream container. Now, I reckon that's diagnosable or something, isn't it?
I would have thought.
I don't know. I just worry that there's...
Yeah, but
it's a new segment we call 5 to 9 confession time.
That might not be the best example.
She'll back me in.
For overdiagnosis.
I do worry.
You may have been missed, my friend.
There's always one that falls through the cracks.
You may be making the opposite point accidentally.
Ends up taking the dilettante path of talkback radio and gibber randomly about random topics for 3 hours and then go back to sleep. That's perfect for undiagnosed ADHD.
If we do have any specialists listening that they would like to make an on-the-fly diagnosis on basis of that, we'd love to hear from you.
What I'm saying is
there
are things that kids do, and like I see it in my own kids where I just think, I just like that they're obsessing about something at times. Like it'll be a certain series of books or a certain series of YouTube videos, certain topics that they throw themselves into it passionately, even manically at times. But
doesn't mean they've got obsessive compulsive disorder.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Do you do a couple of texts before we go?
I like this one from Greg in Flagstaff Hill. He's provided pictures as well showing the refuse. Onkaparinga Council are going to Rio on my rates, but they won't pick up this pile of their rubbish on the large verge on Black Road, Flagstaff Hill. I even racked it up for them. 3 emails and 5 phone calls. 8 months later, it's still there.
8 months later?
Yeah, what about that? Black Road, just up the hill from the wonderful Flagstaff Hill Golf Course. Good God, look at that. Unbelievable. And he says that the council even accused him of illegal dumping. And Paul in Norwood makes a good point. Try getting to the raft from Norwood during the Christmas pageant. Maybe we should ban the pageant.
Maybe they might just suggest its length gets shortened.
Yes, and someone here says if there are any nurses living on 9th Avenue, St Peters, it's not doing much to help them claim that they need a pay rise.
Yeah, I'd probably less likely a nurse and more likely an anaesthetist.
Yeah, oncologist.
That's right.
Don't get too class war about these things, though.
No, indeed. I do like a text we did get from Rob as well, who says, David, living in Neapolitan lifestyle. Hey, that's all from us on this Thursday morning. Stick around. Leith Forest is coming up very shortly. We'll be back tomorrow morning from 6 o'clock.